What I didn't do was get a pen to keep all my notes. That's what I didn't do. Hey.
I got one right here, Mark.
Here we go.
Oh, perfect.
My name literally means to scribe things onto a piece of paper. It's me, Mark Money, back with episode 27. What's up, guys? I'm just going to keep it short and sweet for this intro. It's Killer Metal Mike, Pop That Baby Maker, and Paulie from the Emotive Pixels podcast. I like that name. Who came up with that? What is Emotive
Not
Pixels?
Me.
No? That's friends of
No,
yours?
I mean, I'm fine with the name, but I didn't come up with it. I believe the creator and host Will did.
Yeah, that's a cool name. I dig it.
Not me, so stop saying it.
Yeah, you don't like it? Oh, you're just fucking around.
No, it's just like, patent pending, man. Trademark.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
I get
Don't
it.
Hate the Podcast is a much better name.
I was thinking, so next week we could do Don't Hate the Let's Play.
Oh, yeah?
Of Fall Guys. Mike, you didn't respond. You in on that?
I didn't see that.
Oh, okay. Well,
I put
no.
out my phone like all day.
We're going
To
to
be
talk.
fair, I didn't see it until today either. Like, I didn't get like
Fall
alerts.
Guys?
It's real weird.
Yeah, Discord, I don't know. When you do at everyone, it's supposed to alert everybody. But I know that when I first downloaded Discord on my phone, and like there would be a notification every 2 seconds as soon as I joined any channel, and I was like, nope, all notifications for this bullshit getting turned off immediately. So I just assumed that that's what you guys did too. Anyway,
I have no idea.
I am the complete opposite of that. I have like all notifications from most of my servers turned completely on.
Yeah.
I want to know when anybody says anything. I'm on Discord like all the time.
Discord's fun if you want to be active with it like that. I don't know. I haven't gotten there yet. Everything, like I'll pop in certain channels and see who's saying what, and then I'm like, well, I have something to say about this, but I feel like I haven't been in this conversation for the past 14 months, so I'm not just gonna like chime in now. It's episode 27 on this Saturday, August 1st. August 1st. Wow.
Yeah, buddy.
2020. What happened to July?
Just Zoom.
It left yesterday, I think.
Holy shit. I have patch notes for this episode. Cast of Us 2 is up on YouTube. It's still not up on audio services. I was thinking like maybe that could just be deliberate, right? It's a YouTube exclusive. You can only check out the 4-hour episode there on YouTube. No, I'm going to get the audio up. When I do, we'll say it here. But if you want to check that out, that's it. You could go to don'thatethepodcast.com. That brings you right to the YouTube. I figured that out today.
Oh,
Don'thatethepodcast.com brings you to the YouTube. But we're also on, all your favorite podcast services too. And Apple Podcasts, that's the newest one. I learned that live last week. I would say that if you find yourself listening and you want to support this podcast, the best thing right now is to rate and subscribe no matter where you're listening. That's the big deal, right? That just helps other people find it. So I think that's all I could ever ask, right? Just
Spread the word. Spread the word.
Fine, I'll rate and review it.
Yeah, if you think that this is a 1-star podcast, but you don't really give a shit, just give us 5 stars. That's all. It costs you nothing.
Yeah.
It costs you literally nothing. Does anybody have anything else before we get started with the opening topic of what have you been playing?
No.
Okay.
Let's do this thing.
What have you been playing, Paulie?
Oh,
Yeah,
all right.
Yeah,
I'm
you're gonna
go
start.
first.
Yeah, you're the new guy.
The
All right.
initiation.
Well, I've been playing a lot recently, being home all the time. I work from home, and now I do. But I've been playing a lot recently. So most notable probably is Skater XL is now out of early access. It's released on Steam, PS4, and Xbox.
Now I have some questions about this one. Actually.
All right.
Well, I mean, number one, I guess the main question is what you were probably going to say anyway, is how you like it. But every time I look at it, I'm like, I think I'm going to go get Skater XL. And then I watch a trailer, and I'm like, it looks like it's too rigid, if that makes any sense. It doesn't look like it flows the way a skateboarding game is supposed to. It looks like it's very magnetic. It looks...
is interesting to say.
Yeah.
So I guess the way I have to talk about it is there's another skating sim game that is still in early access Session.
I played
And
Session.
Yeah.
Session I played a lot more. I like Session better, but it may be because I've put way more time into Session. I got hooked on Session early, and the thing I really like about Session is it like recreates. I used to skateboard. I don't anymore. I'm old. My feet suck.
I still try.
Yeah, actually Session did get me into trying again. I put not like I'm not going bombing rails or anything like that, but I did get some big old cruiser wheels and everything, and kind of rebuilt my deck so I could at least try to go down to the skate park and have some fun.
Yeah.
But it really recreates that feeling of like you decide a trick you want to do. There's not really too many goals. They have some challenges, but like you decide something you want to do and you just try and try again until you can land it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that is common in skateboarding, where you go to a spot and you keep trying this thing until you can get it exactly how you want and everything. I just like the way Session feels better.
Yeah.
Because I feel like it has a little bit more weighty feel, and the way you control both these games kind of similarly, but they're a little different. Both games, you turn right and left with the triggers, and you control your feet with the analog sticks.
Right.
But with Session, you have to pop down and then with your back foot and up with your left foot, right analog stick and left analog stick.
If you skate regular.
Yeah, and it can be switched around. And there are some ways to change the controls to make it more like Skate and stuff. The game Skate.
Yeah.
But
The video
Skater
game
X-
Skate, not the skateboarding game Skate.
Yeah, but Skater XL, you don't have to pop up with your left foot. You just kind of pull down and let go to pop an ollie.
With your
And
front
there's
foot.
Some,
With your front foot.
with your back foot.
Wait, I thought you skate
See-
regular.
I do skate regular, so I would pull down with the right stick and then let go to pop an ollie.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So it just feels different for me. But I don't know. Skater XL feels a little bit floatier to me. It's the real problem I have. I feel like Session feels weightier, and I like the way it feels a little bit more. And I feel like the tricks pop a little bit more realistically, where you can do some crazy shit in Skater XL. They have really cool like power slide controls. You can like do an ollie down this steep hill and do a power slide down it and actually rotate your body as you're power sliding and do crazy shit like that nobody does in real life, but it's fun.
Yeah.
But I think it's good. I think they did a lot because in early access it was very bare bones. You had to get mods to do anything cool.
Mhm.
They put a lot of maps in, and they have really good support for the mod community still in the full release. So it is fun, and I would definitely check it out if you're into skateboarding. But it's
Is,
not Tony Hawk either.
Yeah.
Is there multiplayer? Or is it just
Not without modding it on
mod?
PC.
Okay. Gotcha.
There is modded multiplayer support.
And you're playing on PC, correct?
Yes, I'm playing on PC, but I have been messing around. One thing they do really cool, I think, is they have this challenge list where what it does is there's a whole list of all these different challenges, whether it's a specific trick or a line, and pretty much it shows you the computer doing it and their controls, and then you have to try to do it. And the cool thing about it is they picked really cool spots and really cool tricks to like get you into that mind frame of looking around the environment like somebody who skates would to find like a really sick spot and try to land a trick there.
Right. Unlike
Because that's what you have to do in this game. It's not like you have to collect all the videotapes or get a high score or anything like that. You just have to like be into it and feel it.
right, and I remember that was like such a fun way to play Tony Hawk when it first came out, because Tony Hawk was always about like bombast and like linking all these cool. Well, not the first one with the. I mean, you could grind around a whole level if you were really good, and without manuals and this and that. But it was fun when that game like broke out, and then it was like, let me just try to backside flip these, like this 3 set. Like it's so simple in Tony Hawk, but just to see it happen, it was like, oh wow, you can like skate legitimately if you want to, or you could do like a nollie 360 flip, nose grind to 360 flip out, 50-50 to hard flip. Just like all this crazy shit in Tony Hawk. But I haven't played Skater XL, but I can't speak on how that feels. I just know that I was turned off by how it looks. So I might try that though.
I think it looks. I think Session looks better. I think it's easier to it looks a little bit more realistic in a kind of grimy way. I think everything looks really clean and like plasticky in Skater XL. But the video, there's a lot. Both games have like video editing options, so you land a trick and then you go into the video editor and make it look all cool. And there's a lot more video editing. It's a lot easier to use in Skater XL, so that's pretty cool. Like you can do fisheye lenses and all this other skate video stuff.
That's probably my favorite thing about Sessions was the like find a spot. Okay, I'm gonna set my spawn point here, and then I'm just gonna go. And if I fuck up, I press a button, and it takes me right back to where like I started from. So I can just keep going until I get that like, perfect run of what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, and with Session, you can actually get off the board and walk around and find your spot. And Skater XL, when you press that same functionality, it just like pulls up a little like GPS ping, and you just zoom around the map to wherever you want. So you can get to spots faster, but it's a little less realistic.
Yeah.
But also, Skater XL has much better vert in the game. You can actually do vert tricks and coping grinds and all that stuff. And they have half pipes where they have it in Session, but it doesn't work well yet. But they are revamping the physics completely now for Session. So see how that comes out.
I'm just excited for Tony Hawk. It's not too far away.
See, that's the thing. After spoiling myself with this, I don't know if I can really get back into Tony Hawk because it's a different game. It's much more arcadey. And like what Mark said, like, yeah, you could still go down this 3-set, but it's like stupid in Tony Hawk. It's like, yep, I did that. Now what? I guess I'll just do 900 combos.
Yeah, but it like you said, it's a different type of game. So maybe you're not going after that skateboard experience, but that's going to be the nostalgia experience. That's going to be like, this feels like it's supposed to. I hope. I mean, if they do it right, as long as it could be anything other than what Tony Hawk 5 was, and I would say it'll be good because Tony Hawk 5 was like all this build up and just such a letdown. That was another one. I saw gameplay of it. I was like, nope, that's not right. That doesn't look right.
Yeah. But don't get me wrong, I did like Tony Hawk, especially when it first came out. I remember that PlayStation demo disc where the fucking hangar stage was on, and me and my friends just sat and played that level over and over again. But even back then, I was searching for something a little bit more realistic. When Thrasher Skate or Die came out, I was like, playing the hell out of that. But I always popped in and out of the Tony Hawk games. I'm not saying they're bad games. It's just different. It's probably not what I'm looking for anymore. I'll check it out for sure, but
wasn't there a game called Skate and Destroy? I feel like
that's what it was. Thrasher Skate and Destroy.
There it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys ever play Disney's Extreme Skate Adventure?
I feel like isn't that one good?
Oh, dude, it is. It's like Tony Hawk, but with fucking Disney characters. You're grinding as Woody and shit. Like, it's dope.
Isn't there a Simpsons skateboarding game too?
There is. What I just thought of was I think it was a PS3 game that was like a hoverboard game. I can't remember. Airblade.
Yeah.
Something like that.
I thought it was.
I haven't played a skateboard game since Tony Hawk 3 on the Nintendo 64.
Wow.
Hot take.
The controller must really suck for that game.
I've never controlled my feet with joysticks in my life. So like that concept to me seems so foreign. Like to think about how to control, like that's a whole other game now.
Yeah, it only makes sense if you're familiar with actually skateboarding.
Right.
Yeah, because that thought of like doing a pop shove it by pushing my back foot down and to the left, I guess you would say, but really backwards.
Yeah.
It's very intuitive in these games, but at the same time, it's really hard to get a hang of because the simple act of turning left and right with the triggers is unlike any game you play.
Yeah.
It really shows you, like, when you play Skate or games like it that use the analog sticks, it's like, oh, wait, it's actually hard to do a varial quad flip on flat ground. Like, that's almost impossible.
Yeah. Yeah, but those are Skater XL in Session. I also one of my friends recommended a game to like everybody in one of the Discord servers I'm in, Unfortunate Spacemen.
Never heard of it.
So it's a free-to-play game on Steam. It's a first-person shooter, but it's got a really neat kind of mechanic where there is co-op as well. I haven't checked out the co-op yet, but it seems like a horde mode, spacemen versus aliens type thing. But the cool thing is, in the like, I don't know if you'd call it competitive, or I'll just call it the main mode.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody goes in as spacemen, and one of them is an alien in disguise, disguised as a human, and nobody knows who that is. And their goal is to kill all the humans. But anytime they kill a human, or when a human dies, they can disguise themselves as that person.
Huh.
So you kind of are going around pretending that you're a human, and it just leads to some crazy antics and everything like that.
So is it like asymmetrical? Like if you play with a party, you got like 3 people are spacemen, and then one person's this overpowered alien. Is that how that's?
But
working?
you don't know who it is. So everybody just comes in together like they're all on the same team. And the humans have objectives where there's like things they can do, or they can kill the alien. But you don't know who the alien is at first. So you want to do as much as you can to eliminate the threat of the alien, but the alien has some abilities that the humans don't. At any time you can turn into an alien, and you can like go into the ground where they can't see you, and when they walk over you, you can trap them, and it hurts them a bunch. You have like some crazy attacks that you can do and everything like that.
The gameplay looks pretty solid.
It looks really nice, and it's a lot of fun. I have like one story there's a lot of stories that came out of this, but the one I would share is I was the alien, and my buddy Ryan like spawned into the area with me, and we're in game voice chat, so it's only if you're near them. We had to turn off Discord because it would break the game.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And he like walks up to there's a bunch of different levels, and he walks up to this airlock, and he's like, oh, I wonder what this airlock does. And I'm thinking like, as soon as he opens this, I'm going to push him into it. But instead he just opened it and jumped into it. So I was like, all right, one down. So I'm going throughout this stage, and 2 of my other friends did the same thing. They killed themselves by jumping into space accidentally. So it was down to 2 other humans, and they were together. So finally, like, I ran up on them, and they both just start shooting me immediately. And they're like, oh, you're obviously the alien. I was like, what are you doing, guys? I'm not the alien. Ryan's the alien, or I forget exactly what I said, but somehow while I had like that much health, I convinced them that I wasn't the alien. I was just like lied really good, I guess. And I was like, I need help because he's going to be coming for us. And they were like, oh, there's a health station right over here. And the cool thing about that is I had about 20 seconds until I didn't have enough health to be a human anymore, so they would just know. So they walked me to this health station, so I get my health back, and I was like, all right, I'm going to kill these guys now. And then they just happened to mention, they're like, yeah, we got all these turrets set up, so if the alien shows his form here, then he'll get shot. So I was like, all right, well, why don't we go over here and set up some stuff over here? So it was just this great thing of me lying to my friends, and it was a lot of fun.
It sounds like that. See, that part of it makes it seem really
it's
interesting.
different. Yeah, so I got a kick out of it. We only played a few rounds. I hope to play some more, but it's kind of like a big thing to do. Like, it's like you don't want to play Jackbox with your friends every day. Sometimes you just want to play some thought-intensive video games. So
I want to try Unfortunate Spaceman.
Yeah, this
so
game
it is free.
Is so crazy because listening to you explain it and looking at the like gameplay, I'm like, I get 2 totally different vibes. But just because I think recently I watched a game Among Us, which is like a big stream game going on right now, I guess. And it's basically the same concept. It's like 2 people are imposters, and then there's like 10 of you on a ship, and you all have jobs to do.
Yeah.
You go to rooms and do these jobs, and your job as an imposter is to kill off the crew. And like you just kill people and then like try and hide and disappear, and then when someone finds a body, then you like have a meeting and everybody talks about it, and they're like, oh my god, okay, who is near here? Like you can only see the immediate area you're in. So then you have these meetings about like, okay, who is near this room? Who could have possibly done it? Like who's the imposter? Yeah. Like you guys have to
These
vote.
games all sound really cool.
I've seen that one before, and it looked really
but that one is like little cartoony graphics, and this is like Doom 2016.
Yeah, the graphics are pretty good, and it's a well put together game, I think. And like for free to play, like I would suggest anybody that sounds mildly interesting, go into it. And there's a tutorial. It's an entertaining tutorial. It's a little funny. Check out the tutorial because you have to do that before you go into any matches anyway, and you'll know if you like it right off the bat from that. But I liked it enough after like that one match I was talking about, because how they're monetizing it, they have a bunch of skins. It's not like in your face or anything, but if you want to like deck out your spaceman. So once I liked the game, I went and bought a helmet that has a post-it note taped to the visor that says "real human." I just thought that was funny, and I was like, "Yeah, I'll buy this for $3. Support the devs a little bit because they put out a good product and everything like that." So I would definitely suggest it. I would love to play with you guys, see how that goes.
Yeah, that'd be
Probably
fun.
be a shit show.
There was another game that I played, like I actually played a while back. That was the same concept. I can't think of the name right now, but it was like everybody looks the same, but one person actually is like trying to kill everybody, and you're trying to do objectives. Those games are fun when you get a group of people you know playing them.
It reminded me a little bit of, there's a Jackbox game, I can't remember what it's called, but it's the same idea where somebody is an alien, but it's all question based. So if the person answers in a weird way, then you have to vote them off the ship. So what else have I been playing? I have a terrible Magic the Gathering arena addiction.
Okay.
I think I've alleviated it a little bit though, because I have finally got Diamond tier in their ranked matches. I'm not a huge Magic guy. When I was younger, I like checked out some cards, but I never got into playing it physically. But when this came out, it just does a really good job of onboarding. It's free to play as well. They do want you to buy cards and stuff like that, but you don't have to. They give you a bunch of cards for free. And it's really good at teaching you the mechanics of the game. But yeah, this is like the worst I've ever, the most I've ever played a game. I had somewhere here pulled up where it is, unfortunately, 319 hours and 14 minutes.
Damn.
In that game.
I used to collect Magic the Gathering cards, but I never once played a match of that game.
Yeah, I was the same way, and if you're like that, I would suggest checking it out, but maybe not if you have any if you want to live.
Yeah, I just thought that their art was really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, the art's cool. There's like some
I was
lore.
never interested in it. Like someone tried to explain to me one time. I was like, "Oh, why are there like forest and like this?" And they're like, "Oh, well, it comes down to this thing, and then you got to do this thing." And I'm like, "All right, man, I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm out. It looks nice, but I'm out."
Did you ever play?
I've been exactly the same way, but the tutorial in this explains that pretty easily, and it onboards you really, really good, I think. And it is interesting. The art's cool. There's like lore involved in the cards if you want to get into that, but if you just want to have battles, like that's all you really need to do.
You get like animation with all of it, or is it just like, here's a card, look,
No,
here's a
there's
close-up of the card. Ta-da!
not on every card, but some of the cards do have animations. Like when you cast like more powerful creatures. Like I was just talking with one of my friends about, he got the Massacre Worm in his deck. And he was like, "Yeah, I think I only played it once, but when I put it down, it's really cool animation. The worm goes all over the board and everything like that." So just dumb shit like that.
Nice.
But I've had a ton of fun with it, and it actually like convinced me to get some more cards. And I have some cards down there. I actually got the girlfriend to play a game. She's probably never going to do it again, but she did beat me.
You can't really know until you try something, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, I see you've got this very long list of games you've been playing. What else is my question?
Yeah. Just really quickly, Warzone, Call of Duty. I've been playing that with friends. We finally got our first Battle Royale victory.
There's no rush.
Nice. Yo, I played my first 2 games of Warzone today.
Yeah.
Oh.
So I did the tutorial once on my old computer, and then when I got the new one, I installed Warzone, but I never played it. So I had to do the tutorial again.
Mm-hmm.
Then I played my first 2 games, and I'm like, all right, this is great. Let's get in there. In the first game, I don't know what the fuck happened, man. This dude came right in this room. I heard him coming. Fucking was in a good spot, had the jump on him, fired a bunch of shots into him, but he turned around and smoked me, and it was over. And I was like, okay, that's cool. And then the next game, I came out, looking at like on the corner of this fence. I'm like, oh shit, there's a car way in the distance over there. And next thing you know, they like stop for a second. I'm like, oh shit, what are they doing? And then they start driving away, and I'm like, did somebody just get out? And then I'm dead. I was like, yeah, what the fuck was that? somebody walked up right behind me and sniped me from point blank in my head, and I didn't hear a goddamn thing.
Dude, you got farther than me. I downloaded it on PS4, played through that tutorial that you were talking about, and then deleted it off my PS4.
I'm trying to think of the tutorial, and like, I don't.
It's just basically like collecting armor and how to like apply it.
Yeah, because
armor,
shooting like the pop-up cardboard cutouts, and it's just
and the contracts is what it shows you, because that's like the main difference between this battle royale and others, where you have different contracts you can get, and they keep adding to it and changing it. But this game is really hard to get into because you're gonna die a lot at the beginning because you don't have guns that other people do.
Yeah, I had just gotten into Fortnite in a big way, and I was like, okay, so maybe I'll like this too because I've been itching to play. I had a lot of fun with Call of Duty back in the day. It was mostly Black Ops 2 and Modern Warfare 4 or 3? 3 or 4? Maybe, yeah, Modern Warfare 3 and Black Ops 2 were the two that I played like a lot of. And then I discovered Battlefield and didn't really look back. But I was like, I'd like to play Call of Duty again, and I like this battle royale style of gameplay. But I don't know. I was like 112 gigabyte download. It took forever, and then like I did the thing, and I'm like, well, that doesn't seem fun. Just everything that I just did doesn't seem fun. So like I kind of just want to play like an old Call of Duty campaign.
Yeah, that was the kicker for me. Is I was in the same boat. I loved Call of Duty. Like mine was Modern Warfare 2. Like when that was out, I was fucking
good one.
Killing it, dude. Oh. So I played a lot of that. So I was like, dude, this is gonna be great. I watch a shitload of it. I watch Tim the Tap Man on Twitch all the time. This is all he's been playing. Fucking love watching this shit. High action, super tense. Makes for a good watch. But dude, when I'm in there and fucking potato aim something and then just get irritated, I'm like, you know what I liked about Call of Duty was running in, killing something, instantly getting killed, but then respawning and getting to do it again. Like this whole, all right, we're gonna drag you off to the gulag. Now you're gonna fight this one dude. Did he kill you too? You suck? Yeah, okay, go on back. Get on the plane again. No, you got it? Okay, drop in. You get to die again. Have fun. Like,
well, see, I think too, like it has to do with like, because I've never played solos in Warzone. Like, I think that game, like, it when it launched, it only had squads, I think, or trios.
When I filled in, it automatically put me into trios to autofill, and I had 3 people join me, see that I was a level 1 player playing my first match, and instantly backed out.
Yep. No, I think that's how the game is. Like it is like what
you're on your own.
What you just said about like it taking so long, and like I died, now I went to the gulag. Now, like that part of the game to me is where like Warzone does a way better job than any other battle royale, because it's like it's way faster paced than all the other ones, where it's like if I die in PUBG, I just wasted 20 minutes in that game, and then I have to go back to the menu, then I have to join a game, I sit in the lobby for 2 minutes, then I have to do it's so much the way that they do the gulag to give you a chance to get back into the game, and then if not, your squad can buy you back. I think it handles that part of the game, which is the worst part of the game when you're playing with friends and you're the first person to die. It's like, you just have to sit here and wait for them to die now. Like, it handles that part way better. And then also I think it encourages much more like aggressive gameplay, which I think a lot of battle royale struggle with because nobody wants to die first. So you end up getting with a lot of people like camping at the beginning of the game and not wanting to die because they want to get later on, where it's like, if you know, hey, my teammate can just buy me back, I'm going to push this fight. Like it encourages the like action, which is like the fun part of battle royales.
But everything Mike and Mark said, the onboarding to that game is not good, and mostly because it's free to play and they want your money. Although in most battle royale games you can get any drops and any attachments, that's not how this works. You have to unlock your attachments and all your guns and everything like that.
That was like reminiscent of original Call of Duty. Like that's what you do in Call of Duty.
And if you have the game, you get all that stuff much faster because you could play regular multiplayer and you get your unlocks really faster. But if you're just playing Warzone, it'll take you forever to unlock all the stuff that you want to. So that free-to-play mode, you could get everything, but you're going to look at a lot of hours.
And maybe... sorry. I was just going to say, maybe that's where there's a little disconnect for me there because, like, I bought Modern Warfare when it came out for, like, the actual game. So, like, I had been playing the multiplayer a ton and stuff. So, like, I already knew how, like, the guns work and how, you know, like, oh, that's so like when you guys were saying tutorial, I didn't even remember it until like it like popped in my head because it was like, oh, like I already know how to play the game, just let me play type thing. So yeah, like I can see like freshly coming in, it throws you into that. Like I don't think it's a great representation of what you actually get when you play, but
what you were saying, I think that the gulag is an awesome idea, giving you a chance, and the fact that teammates can buy you back like in Apex is really cool.
I'm sorry, how do you spell that? Gulag?
G-U-L-A-G?
What the hell is it?
A gulag is like is it a Russian term for prison?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
It's a jail.
Just
It's
sounds
a
like
jail pretty much, and when you die, they bring you into the gulag, and it's a 1v1 match. And if you win the 1v1 with a random gun, then you get to.
Is it against a computer or another player?
No, it's against another
player.
Another person that died.
Oh, I see. Cool. That's a good idea.
One other thing they do is jailbreaks can happen randomly, so everybody that's in the gulag just drops in all at once. And that's something they've added, which is pretty cool as well. And makes them. That's the thing. This game has crazy moments that don't happen in any other battle royale games. Like when crazy shit happens, it's so much fun. But it all depends on your playstyle. Like unlike the majority of everyone, when I played Call of Duty, I really liked a lot of games like Mark did. I liked Advanced Warfare was probably my favorite one because it was so fast paced, which like the rocket jumps and all that crazy shit.
Oh.
But I liked Free for All, so I'm used to dying all the time and just having those crazy like hectic battles. And I really like solos in this the best because it's a little bit slower paced, but it's still like I had one experience I shared with some folks where it was just crazy stuff was happening. So my favorite thing I started doing was getting a most wanted contract. What that does is marks your position to everybody on the map.
Okay.
But what I did is I put something called a trophy system on this truck I was driving around. So the trophy system, when people shoot rockets at you or C4, the truck doesn't blow up. So I have most wanted. I'm driving around with this truck, and everybody's coming at me with rockets and all this stuff. But it's just alerting to me to their position, and then I drive over to them or go over there and kill them. And then like I had somebody chasing me with an SUV, so I jumped out of the truck while it was moving, turned around, threw a C4 out, blew up his truck, and then ran over and got back in the truck. Like crazy, like fun action movie moments like that are just like very exhilarating, and it really like when it gets your adrenaline pumping a lot. But yeah, going into the match the other day, it was an awesome match. We got our first win, and then we're like, yep, let's play something else and never play this again. Because you're not going to beat that.
That goulash.
That gulag.
I just keep wanting to say goulash now.
All right.
Hey, wait, real quick before you move on. What's the best Battle Royale game? Everybody, go. Say it at the same time. 3, 2, 1. Tetris 99.
PUBG.
Sorry?
I would still have to go with PUBG.
PUBG?
PUBG was the first that I got heavy into.
PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale?
Yes.
Yeah. It's
I hope you
Tetris
don't actually
99.
believe that.
We actually is what we were looking for. Tetris 99. Sorry. Okay. I'm curious.
Tetris 99 is good.
I'm curious as what
right,
what
so
Virtuaverse is.
Because you brought it up, did you hear about the new Tetris like mobile thing they started doing? Where you could win real money by playing against people on Tetris Mobile?
Did not know that.
Kind of like, remember HQ, that trivia game?
Yes.
Yep.
It's like that, where like there's a set time and everybody jumps into Tetris Mobile and you win prizes. So I thought that was
I'm gonna have to
interesting.
get into that because I am a Tetris fan.
Except for the fact that it's Tetris on mobile, which has never been good.
I played Tetris on mobile a lot, like a lot. Tetris and Tetris Blitz.
Damn.
Yeah.
Tetris Fear.
Tetris.
What's the worst Tetris game?
Ah, what does that even mean?
Tetris for Super Nintendo. Facts.
Is it?
I have no idea.
No, I think there was some Tetris game for. Wasn't there one on 64 that was
Yeah,
bad?
Tetris Sphere, the one where it was a globe you had to Tetris on.
Yeah, fuck all that. That sounds disgusting.
Yeah, I think that was the worst. Moving on.
Yeah.
Okay, this next one kind of goes out to Pop because he was playing a point-and-click adventure game not too long ago. Something about murdering deers or something like that.
Hypnospace Outlaw, right?
No, he's talking about
that hotel.
Hotel, yeah. Fuck, I forgot the name of it.
So I'm not huge on point-and-click adventure games, but I got into this game, Virtualverse, which is a cyberpunk inspired like old school point-and-click adventure, but the art in it is fucking awesome. I would highly suggest, even if you don't want to like play this game, just check out the art a little bit. It's by this guy Valenberg, who does awesome pixel art, and the art in this game is amazing, as well as the soundtrack. This game came about through a record label that I like, Blood Music. They do a lot of electric and a little bit of like metal releases, but the artist is Master Boot Record, and I have that vinyl that once it's released, it is going to be coming and being added to my collection.
Sweet.
But I started playing it. It's going to be a while before I finish it, just because point-and-click adventure games aren't my thing. But it does seem neat. The story seems pretty cool, so more to come on that.
The aesthetic reminds me of Katana Zero a little bit.
Yes, it's very similar. The only reason I actually didn't pick this up is because I had a good friend who was really excited about it and ended up streaming it on like the day that it came out. So I ended up watching him play like a good chunk of it, and I feel like point and clicks, it's like once you kind of see how things work, it's like, well, do I really want to? Like, I know the first 7 puzzles. Like, am I gonna go through and play? So like that's why I didn't pick this up. But I really like the look of it and like the aesthetic and everything. It's really cool.
Yeah, but I immediately got that problem I've always had with point and click adventure games. I didn't realize you were supposed to click on this one corner of the poster to get what was behind it and things like that.
Oh yeah.
And that was in like the first room. So
that's back to my days of Day of the Tentacle as a kid on my Mac. Yep. Cool. This looks cool. I like it.
Yeah, check it out. It's got a really cool look, and the artist Valenberg has some awesome art. Check out as well. Kill It With Fire.
This next game looks amazing.
Is
it what?
This next game, Kill It With Fire.
Yeah, Kill It With Fire is one of those games where I jumped in and I don't really want to like play anything specific, but Steam just came out with, hey, this is free, play this. Because they had a free, I think it's Kill It With Fire Heatwave is like the free version. It's like 5 or 7 levels or something like that. Pretty much Kill It With Fire is you're in a house and there's spiders and you have to kill them with whatever possible, and you destroy the house in the process. So you start off just with like simple things like hairspray and a lighter to burn them, but then you end up getting like AKs and grenades and crazy shit like that, and you just completely destroy all these houses just to kill all the spiders in it. And it's fun.
Yeah, it looks
cool.
It looks awesome.
Yeah. I don't know if it's on anything other than Steam. I didn't actually research that.
That's okay.
Tiny Build. Those are the people that did that Hello Neighbor game my kid likes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And
stupid, pointless games like this just remind me of the good old days when I used to play I Am Bread.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Goat Simulator.
It's got that same feel, but it is kind of cool. Pretty much, you hear spiders, and you gotta like look under books for them and under pillows, and like you can move stuff around. It's neat.
Do you have the option to let the spiders live?
Yeah, you can not beat any levels. I mean, kind of like. Never mind. There was a spoiler for Last of Us in there that I'm not going to do.
Ooh, gotta watch those. Don't worry, nobody's listening to this.
Yeah.
What else you been playing, man? You've been
There's
playing a
one
lot.
guy who just joined, hasn't played Last of Us 2.
He's like, what the fuck? Come on.
Dude,
Just a couple more.
I can't believe you just spoiled that part of The Last of Us 2 where the giant spider crawls out of the ground and eats Ellie whole.
You have to kill it with fire.
Yeah. You know that part where the aliens land in the UFO in Last of Us 2? Bruce Willis was dead the whole time.
Aliens were the zombies the whole time.
Damn it.
GTFO is a game I've checked out briefly. I had a couple friends who had birthdays, and I got them this for them for their birthdays, but I've only gotten one of them into it with me so far. It's a 4-player cooperative. I don't want to say randomly generated. The levels are static, but the enemies and objectives are randomly generated within the levels. And it is very hard. They're saying it's horror, but it's like not really scary. It's just the fact that there's monsters and you have to be quiet or else you're fucked.
Yeah.
You have specific gear that you have to kind of play your role. Like one person is in charge of this kind of like alien bio tracker where you can see people through where they are by position. One person has like a glue gun that'll slow them down if you put it on the ground in front of them and stuff like that.
Neato.
But yeah, it seems really cool. They have a really neat terminal system in the game where to find all these objectives and items, you actually type into the computer commands, and it's kind of like doing like minor command prompts in a PC and stuff like that. Like if you could ping a specific item and it'll make a noise wherever it is, and if anybody is near it, they can hear it and things like that.
Yeah.
So it's got some neat stuff that I don't see in a lot of games, and
Wow.
I definitely want to get into it, but I need people to play with.
I'm looking at this GTFO game, and I just saw that it's made by the same team who made Payday 2. And that game, I hate, but I hated the way it looked. This looks way better than that. This looks like...
Damn.
Man,
You gotta get Payday too.
The aesthetic of this is way up my alley. Like anything that looks remotely like Alien or Aliens is like, yep, that's me.
Mike, what it is about Payday and Payday 2, it's the weirdest critique. And you probably won't be surprised by this from me, but I don't like it because...
It's a first-person shooter.
No, the first time I played it, the characters and the like environment, like all the 3D models, felt like they were hollow. Like playing it, that's the best way that I could describe it. Like it felt like I was playing with hollow, which they are, right? But I guess they just didn't feel like they had any weight to them. It was just all very fast-paced and twitchy, and I was like, what are we doing? Robbing a bank? Like, I feel like we could be playing Grand Theft Auto right now and robbing a bank and actually having fun instead of this dumb bullshit. That was my review of Payday. I like a very specific type of game. What can I say?
I guess. Hey.
Yeah, I'm with you. I didn't like Payday at all either.
I mean, I didn't play a lot of Payday, but...
When it comes to Payday, I say GTFO of my face.
Wrapping it all around.
Yeah.
All right, 2 more quick ones. WWE 2K20.
Is that the shitty one with all the glitches?
Yep, the shitty one with all the glitches.
Did you get any hilarious glitches?
Have they patched most of that out by now?
So the thing is, those games are always kind of hilarious to me with their glitches. They've all had glitches. This is definitely the worst offender, but there's a lot of bad rope physics. Like I've had wrestlers get into the room and the rope just sticks to them throughout the first quarter of the match, and just everything goes to shit.
What did you play this on? PC or?
Yeah, I've been playing this on PC. The thing is, I don't like wrestling. I don't like WWE at all. But I fucking love wrestling video games. Something about a slow-paced brawl, like with environmental damage and weapons and stuff like that. Like, if you like Gang Beasts, that's what I would compare it to. Like, that kind of thing is what I'm looking for in these games. I wish there were more wrestling games that didn't involve any specific property. I just want it to be a bunch of fantasy bullshit and have crazy-ass environments and weapons and shit like that to fight in.
Fire Pro.
Yeah, I have played some Fire Pro, but I don't know, like the three-dimensional aspect of the wrestling games I kind of like. It goes back to the old No Mercies and all those N64 wrestling games.
N64 wrestling games was like, I was the same way. I never was really into wrestling. Like, I think my last favorite wrestler was Jake the Snake. I was like 5 years old, you know, and I'm really dating myself here.
I'm gonna piggyback off this one a little bit just to save some time. So I've also been playing WWE 2K20.
Uh-oh.
Probably way too much. I've put 37 hours into it in the last 2 weeks.
Oh shit!
Are you okay?
Yeah.
Did you get hit in the head with a rock?
I could care less about the actual the audacity. Like, if you go to Steam right now, they're charging $60 for this, which
Unreal.
is insane.
I got it on sale for like $8.
Yeah, I went to what's that one website that they steal people's credit cards to sell games? Like, it's like known. I like try not to
Green
use
Man
it.
Gaming or something like that.
Yeah, it's like some like sketchy website where everybody's like, don't buy codes from this website because they're stolen. Like, you're hurting other people. I went to that website to buy this game. I bought it for like $4 because I'm not paying $60 for this piece of shit, dude. It's so bad.
But you'll play it for 37 hours. Though.
Yeah, really, I could care less about the game. I don't like. I used to be really into wrestling, like when I was a kid. Don't watch anymore. All I care about is the create a character section in this game, and then
now it all makes sense.
So yes, exactly. It all makes sense. So I've been messing around with that.
Now I know why I got a random text message asking my height and weight.
Yeah.
Oh no. All makes sense.
So yeah, I've just been going through and like just making all of my friends and different streamers and just doing all this stuff and then having them fight against each other and like so yeah, that's what I've been messing around with. There's actually not to plug myself, but I've uploaded 2 YouTube videos to my YouTube channel.
Yes.
Of just and it's crazy because like the first YouTube video, like literally halfway through me recording, the game just randomly crashed, like black screen my computer, so I had to restart and like the amount that this game crashes is like insane. Like I could play it for an hour and it'll probably it'll crash 4 times and potentially like black screen my computer once in an hour. Just like consistently, like there's no like, yep, I know I want to like go in and make an entrance for this character, but it's got to load, and I know when it's got to load, there's a chance for it crashing. It's so
I
bad.
I don't know how you could have it happen to you 4 times in 1 hour, because if it happened to me once and then again immediately after, I'm like,
I don't know,
kill
like
it with fire.
And like I don't even play the game, so I put it on simulation. Like I just make the characters and then I just have them fight each other. I've never actually like gone in and played like in like part of the game, but
so you've actually
the creator is fantastic.
You've not played for 37 hours.
Yeah, I've mainly just made people for 37 hours and then have the computer fight.
Scientist. He's just running simulations over here.
It's so funny you said that, because just last night, I've been waiting to do that, and just last night, finally in Discord, I was up till 3 o'clock in the morning, and 2 of my friends were on, and I took pictures of them from Facebook and put it on their faces and built them out while they're like helping me out with it, and it was like so much fun. Like my friend's like, well, yeah, clearly my entrance attire has to have the rubber inflatable duck around my waist. Yeah. I mean, there's no way I can't have that. So like, it's so entertaining doing that. If anybody's ever watched Monster Factory on YouTube from the McElroys, from former Polygon folks, it's exactly that. They go into any video game with customization and make the worst fucking characters you could ever imagine in your life.
Similar question to before. What's the best character creator in a video game?
Go. WWE is pretty fucking good.
It is like the amount of stuff you can change is like in like you can go into like muscle definition and like how veiny do you want like certain parts of their body to be, and like do you want hair on arms and legs? Like you can control all that. Like it is
even more than that. There was like
cyberpunk level of veiny.
I went into like the face thing, and there was like anatomy terms I wasn't familiar with. Like I'm just gonna make it up because I don't remember, but it was like, David, how big is your phellum? And he's like, let me look that up. Oh, I guess it's like the space between your eyeballs and the bridge of your nose or something like that. And you get to adjust that on like 3 different points.
No, isn't it this little thing?
Well, no, I made up a word.
No, I think that's a real thing. I think you made up.
Well,
I think it might
I
be
made
real.
up. I made up a real word, but it wasn't what it was. Whatever it was.
I could be
like,
wrong.
But there was like multiple things. I was like, I don't even know what the fuck that is. And like you go to the adjustment and it goes like super slow, and you're like, I don't even see anything moving. But it is slightly if you look at this one little spot. So I think that's probably.
Yeah.
I
mean,
know.
the
I
reason
can't think of anything that's had more control than that.
The reason I ask is because I've spent a lot of time in character creators in video games, and by far the one I've spent the most time in, I've had the most fun with, and I made the widest variety of characters, not counting Mii's, because I remember I went through a phase on the Wii making Mii's.
Yeah, me too.
But it was Soul Calibur 4 on PS3. Ooh. Oh man, I made like all 4 Ninja Turtles and Shredder.
Damn.
I made everything that you could fucking think of. I made like characters from Final Fantasy VII, like almost every single one. You wouldn't believe that you'd be able to pull this shit off, but you can make like anything. You can with Soul Calibur 4, they give you like you could just put random geometric shapes on people's bodies in random spots or in very specific spots, and then just basically sculpt outfits and shit. It was wild. I highly recommend if you like fucking around with character creators. Soul Calibur 4. It's a pretty attainable game.
No, I did. When you said that, I did remember that. I also popped back to a game from I don't even know what system, but Fighter Maker, where it was a fighting game that like didn't had like 2 characters and you had to build the rest of it, including all their moves and shit like that. That was pretty intense.
That's pretty.
I am excited because now that I know that Pops is playing this, we're gonna clearly have to have Mike and Mark do battle with us controlling them because we can make them do specific things. Like, haven't you always wanted to see Mike chokeslam Mark off a steel cage through a table?
Yeah.
Hey, I say let's just do that for real.
Yeah.
Do it for the gram.
These videos are true WWE fashion right here, man. It's a
Thank you.
19-minute video and 11 minutes is introduction.
Intros. It's all intros. Yeah. I don't care about the match. It's just all intros.
Oh.
I worked so hard on them. Like, I'm really good for, like, all the people that I made in that first video, I'm, like, pretty good friends with. And so, like, they're all very, like, specifically detailed in the way of, like, like, my friend Adams really likes cars. And so, like, I have him come at his entrance. He comes out in a car. And, like, my friend Cooper has a motorcycle. So I have him come out on a motorcycle. Like, they're very, detailed in, like, how those people are. So... that's why I was like, I'm just gonna upload this 11 minutes of intros and then just I made but they wouldn't let me have I made her a female, but then I found out you can't have females fight males in the game, so I had to make a male version of Buttress and like going even like, how do I make this face look like a female? Like but yeah, it was I've been having a lot of fun with it. The game's terrible, like so many glitches and bugs, and it crashes all the time. Like, because I've mainly been doing like the Royal Rumble type mode where you just have characters come in, and like you'll get characters slide in under the ropes, and then the rope attaches to their body, and like they like it's just I don't know. It's a very
I will say. It did get a lot of that, but like I said, these games have always been buggy, and I haven't experienced any crashes. But Royal Rumble is definitely where most of that shit happens.
Yeah.
And I haven't fucked around with that at all. I'd still enjoy that game, though. I will say that because, like I said, I just like that slow-paced brawler. Throwing people through tables and shit like that is just fun to me, and I wish there were a better game of it. But this is all I have, really. So I'll just take it.
That's the same thing. I actually did what you did. I was like, I don't want to, because at first I was like, I don't want to spend $60 on just because it's a WWE game. So I went through and tried to find like another like non-branded whatever like wrestling game that had like the same like amount of customization and details and stuff in it, and there's just nothing out there. It's like that's really your only option.
In this match,
hopefully because the team that got taken off WWE is working on something.
Yeah,
I'm hoping that is going to be better.
And to be fair, like this one specifically, like, because I remember when it happened like a while ago, it was like basically there was 2 teams working on this game, and there was one team that had made like all of the WWE games for the past like 5 or 6 years, and like that team essentially left. They're like, we're not making the WWE games anymore, and so this team got brought on like 5 or 6 months before the game had to come out, like contractually. So it was like they made this game in 6 months, and I feel like you can tell like it's definitely like not a $60 like quality game, like as far as like the bugs and stuff go. Like it's unacceptable. The amount of clipping that's in this game is like insane. Like like I said, I've been doing a lot of the customization, so it's like if you try to put like any type of clothing that is like not stuck to the character body, it'll just clip through. And like it's like this seems like a small indie team made this and didn't have the like budget, but it's like, 2K is making it. Like, that's crazy.
I feel like a lot of that is from the license. So I think that Vince needs his money, and he's like, no,
they have to do them yearly. They just have to pump them out.
They're just
and
cranking them
buy
out.
them, like,
But if I could get a fictional universe fucking wrestling game that has like the amount of customization and like features that I'm looking for, like I would be so excited about that.
Yeah, same.
All right, and
wrestling.
That we not only is nobody going to be listening to that part of the podcast, but we turned our own co-hosts off. They walked away.
I just needed more water.
Sure, you did.
And to not hear that conversation anymore.
Yeah. And then finally, the last thing I checked out, I've been looking for a new fighting game to jump into. I got a fight stick not too long ago, and I'm just tired of Tekken and Street Fighter. So I checked out Omen of Sorrow, which I thought was new because I'd never heard of it before, and it popped in on Epic. And it turns out it's from like 2 years ago or something like that.
It's a fighting game?
And it's a fighting game. I got the demo for it because it was free, and it's not very good. It has a neat vibe, like it's all like horror themed people, like Dr. Jekyll, and there's like a vampire dude, and like different like genres of horror like that.
What is all like public domain stuff?
I don't know. Like I guess they call him Dr. Jekyll. Like I don't know if you could get a copyright infringement for that. Like there's nobody specific. It's not like Dracula, but there is like a vampire hunter dude and like things like that. And I thought that vibe would be neat. But the game, it feels like an older, unsupported game. It feels kind of, the fighting definitely has some depth to it, but it just wasn't what I was looking for. So I fell off that pretty much immediately. It's one of those things where like, why'd you give me a demo for this? Because I might have actually purchased it and you could have got me, but you put a bad demo out. So nope.
You know what? I have a fight stick for the PS4, and I have a lot of cool fighting games on there. And now you're making me want to bust them out. I never picked up Street Fighter. What is it, 5 or?
Yeah,
I never picked that up, but I do have Tekken 7. I do have Soul Calibur 6, and I do have that Dissidia game that came out for PS4, which was like actually in arcade machines in Japan, which is probably really fun to play with a fight stick. I'm gonna check that out. But so this game looks kind of what is it called? Omen of Sorrow.
Omen of Sorrow. It looks cooler than it is. That's what I would say, pretty much. But the main reason I got a fight stick wasn't for fight games. I just got into the fight game portion of that afterwards. I got it for this game, Neon Retro Arcade or something like that. It's a VR game where you pretty much build your own arcade with whatever arcade games you want.
That sounds
dope. And I needed an actual arcade stick for that, so I could play the old fucking Punisher arcade game with a fucking joystick.
How do they pull that off? Is it all emulation?
Yeah, it's like the game comes with like 5 shit games that aren't real, but you could just download an emulator, or it has a built-in emulator, but you could download RAMs and
right.
But it's really neat. Like the aesthetics of it is really cool, and you're pretty much just like, I have a fucking virtual arcade I can go into in VR and stand in front of cabinets and play.
Which headset are you using?
The Vive.
Cool.
The original Vive.
Holy shit! 1 hour in.
Sorry,
no,
I had a lot of shit, but we had some good conversations from that. I feel like
that's what it's all about. I mean, it's there is no time limit. But I'm gonna go with Pop. You already told us one game you're playing. What else you been playing?
Yeah, and that was a big one. Like I said, I put 37 hours into that. So I think we're gonna talk about it a little later on in the show. So like, I don't know. I was kind of debating like, do I get into this now or do I get in? But I'll just kind of mention I watched the Xbox event like I guess now 2 weeks ago or a week and a half ago. I think it was like the Thursday before the last podcast, so like 2 Thursdays ago. Yeah. And you know, I had some thoughts on it that we'll get into later. I was like, you know what? I have the Games Pass. I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna play some Xbox exclusive games because like that's what I want to do. Mm-hmm. So I've obviously played Sea of Thieves before. I have a lot of fun with it. And actually, just a quick shout out. I didn't mention this. This is when I realized I forgot what it's like to have space on my computer to download things. So I uninstalled Modern Warfare, and then I could just download whatever I want because I got like 180 free gigs now just to do whatever. The game's so big, it's ridiculous.
It's so bad. And like every week, they add another 20 gigs.
It's dumb. So I started with I've played Sea of Thieves and I really like that. Right, like it's a fun game, especially when you're playing with friends. And I always hop into Forza Horizon 4 and play that. Like that's a fun game. And I did play some of that this week, but nothing. It's a good game. Like I recommend it. It's a good racing, like arcadey game. It's not a simulator, but it's fun. But I downloaded State of Decay 2 and played it for about an hour and was like, oh, this game's awful. Just in every way, it's really bad. Like story, voice acting, the mechanics of the game, like how you like the game is kind of like a looter in a way, like where it's based on like you have a camp, you have to go out and loot things to bring back to the camp so you can upgrade the camp, and you have inventory spaces, so it hits that like survival type game, which I really like, but it just does it in such a bad way that it's like I don't know, it just wasn't a fun, enjoyable experience. So I played that for an hour and was like, I'm done with it, I can't play anymore. Then I went into Sunset Overdrive, which is it was an Xbox One exclusive made by Insomniac. Definitely can see the like transition there. Like there's a lot of like, oh, this is like Spider-Man just took this mechanic and made it a lot better. And like this thing that they do here is equivalent to the swinging in Spider-Man. But yeah, Sunset Overdrive was fun. I played it for probably 3 or 4 hours. It's just a very like video game.
Video game as video game.
Yeah, like there's literally at one point where the character makes a joke, like you learn about ability upgrades, and he's like, well, how do I equip them? If I was playing a video game, normally this would be the time where like a voice comes on the screen and tells me how to like use the abilities, and the guy's like, well, I've never even thought of that. And then all of a sudden, like a voice appears from the sky, and it's like, you gotta equip your abilities. But it's like very like video game,
breaks the fourth wall kind of.
Yeah, like which I'm not like a huge fan of. But that was fun. There's like not much there. I feel like that game is just like a mindless kind of like, I want to get in and shoot things in cool ways. It's almost got like a Tony Hawk vibe to it, because you have like essentially a grinding ability. Like you can just you jump and then press square or press X, I guess, and you can just like grind onto anything, but you don't have like a skateboard or anything. You're just using your feet. Okay. So you can just like grind onto like any surface, really.
Is there like a reason for that? Do you have soap shoes or something?
No reason. You just have that, like.
Oh no, it's not 2001 all over again.
Yeah, no, it's just like to start off the game, you can just grind, and then they don't really explain it. It's just that's there. I don't know. They don't explain it. Like the story is like a new energy drink is coming out, and the company, all they care about is money, so they wanted to rush it, so they didn't like product test it, and then the energy drink actually turns you into like mutant zombies. Like that's kind of the story of the game. And then you don't taste the energy drink. You were working at the event the reveal event for the energy drink, and then like everybody's trying to kill you now, so like you have to like survive. But then like it just doesn't explain things. There's like one day after the event, there's like a like military base set up with a guy that has a shop that he's acted like he's been there for like years, and like it's very like very loose on the story, and I feel like more about just like, hey, we're gonna give you a bunch of stuff, you can like jump off whatever you want and you'll bounce super high, and you have like a gun that shoots out discs that'll like bounce off stuff and kill things, like, or this gun explodes. Like it's just like one of those type of games. I had fun with it. It wasn't like I don't know if I'd be like, oh, I want a Sunset Overdrive 2, but like it was fun. For what it was.
Back to the energy drink story. Did they just straight up steal the story to iZombie?
I don't know.
Did anybody read the comic iZombie or watch the TV show?
No.
That is.
I remember that show. I remember that show, but I never watched it.
That is straight up what it is. They make an energy drink that turns people into zombies.
Yeah.
What was the energy drink in Futurama?
Slurp.
Oh, yeah.
Slurm. It's
Slurm.
just a soda.
That's right. That's right.
I almost wore my Slurm shirt today too. That would have been so topical.
Hell yeah.
Then I tried the Grounded beta.
Okay.
Like that's the new like, and like I said, this is like my type of game. I love like a survival, like you have to eat, you have to drink. Like
for the record, they're not calling it a beta or early access. They call it game preview or something.
Game preview, yeah. It's a beta. Like they came up with a special name, but it's a beta. Like you're very limited onto like what you can do. Like it's a small chunk of the game that like they're just trying to figure out how, you know, if there's any like bugs or anything like that. It was fun. It's a survival game, right? Like, you know, you start out, you have to craft a base, you have to.
It's a cool gimmick though. Like shrink down, like
yeah, it is a cool gimmick. It immediately like just I don't know, like if you guys ever watched like the Honey I Shrunk the Kids movies, like that whole set. But like,
hold on. Have you ever watched Honey I Shrunk the Kids?
Look,
That's my
if you
question.
looked at the collective age we got going on here versus you, I mean,
all right. Well, I don't know. Well, okay, my bad.
You're talking to a bunch of old heads.
Yeah. I had it on order on VHS. Thank you.
Have you seen Honey I Blew Up the Baby? That's
can we call this one "Fuck You" if you haven't seen Honey I Shrunk the Kids?
But yeah, it gave me those vibes, especially like at Disney World, at one of the parks. I think it was Hollywood Studios. They used to have a like giant play area that was like themed after that movie, so it was like
blades of grass and a Lego.
Yeah, blades of grass and like a cup, and the cup was a slide, and like it was really cool. And this game like immediately reminded me of that. Where at one point you come across like you're trying to find like you need something to fill your like thirst bar, and so you're trying to find something to like clean water, and you find like a juice box that somebody has thrown in the grass. And like a little drop of like juice comes out of it, and that's what you use as like your clean source of like liquid. But just gave off that, like when I saw that, I just immediately brought back like, oh, I remember that like play place at Disney. Like
that would be a cool one to play in VR if they ever.
Yeah, it would.
Yeah, I think that game would be. I would enjoy it a lot more if like I played it with friends, and it has a multiplayer like mode to it.
My question for you, Pop, is I saw in that game you go up against big ass spiders. Have you seen any of the spiders yet?
Yeah. So, and they give you like if you're afraid of spiders, there's an option.
Did you turn it on? Yeah,
there's an option at the beginning of the game. I'm not afraid of spiders. They don't do anything to me, so like I left it on.
Okay.
They are like it caught me off guard how like when they say like there's like big spiders in this game. I was like, okay, yeah, you're small. And you come across ants is your first like kind of enemy that you see, and then you get some like beetles and like termites, and then you hit like spiders, and it's like, oh, these are like tiny, but those are like baby spiders, and then like a full size spider comes up on you, and it's like 10 times the size of your character.
Yeah. Did you see the arachnophobia mode though? Did you see any footage from that?
Oh no, I didn't. I don't know how.
It's absolutely hilarious. All that it does is it removes the legs and the eyes and the fur, so it just looks like a potato bouncing up and down trying to kill you.
Gotcha.
It's hilarious.
They have to add that option to kill it with fire.
Yeah. Hunt the potato.
But yeah, I have a couple more on here that are real quick.
Before you jump in, can I go off topic really quick?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just had like a Mandela effect. You know what that is?
Yes.
Where you swear something existed, but it didn't.
Yeah.
How the fuck did we not have a Honey I Shrunk the Kids cartoon series back in the day?
Wait, there
I feel
wasn't?
like- No, I looked it up. There was a TV show, a live action one, but I swear there was a fucking cartoon because how could they not make a cartoon back then of Honey I Shrunk the fucking Kids?
Are you
It's
sure?
like perfect.
Wasn't there like a comic book though?
Yes.
Oh, there was.
Yes. There was. I just looked into it. I didn't see a cartoon series, but there should have been. I feel like they could have made all those toys. You could have that Ant Buddy.
You know what
just
I
don't
think you're
understand.
remembering though? Did you see Honey I Blew Up the Baby? The second one? It was the sequel to Honey I Shrunk the
Yes.
Kids. The opening of that movie is an animated sort of like maybe that's what you were thinking of.
Probably. But still, how the fuck did we not have that? That's all they
Wow,
did
there's
was
a
make
third
cartoons of
one.
dumb shit.
I'm surprised that this game wasn't Honey I Shrunk the Kids the game. Like who fucked up there? Whose job was it to get the licensing for that? I mean, that's is that Disney? It is Disney,
Well,
right?
it's a lot of money. I mean, licensing could kill a game. Look at the Friday the 13th game. Like,
Yeah.
that could have been a good game if they didn't
When you
follow
were
that
when you were
license.
talking about that trick your friends, whatever the fuck that game was, and I was asking if it's asymmetrical multiplayer. I have a bad taste in my mouth from games like that. Like Evolve fucked me up big time, and then I played Friday the 13th. Like, you know, Mike's a big Jason fan, but like I was just like, well, I don't actively hate those movies. I'm not a huge fan of them, but I'll play the game. And I was just like, nope, this is like
Okay.
Evolve with Jason. I hate it.
Yeah, and I want a game like that to be good.
I heard
Really
Predator
bad.
Hunting Grounds is okay. I don't want to take the chance.
No, see, I played it and I thought it was terrible.
Oh,
Yeah, I heard
It's the same
thing.
team,
But
right?
I haven't learned my lesson. I was excited for the Resident Evil. The hell
ooh,
mode was it?
yeah.
Resident Evil 3 had that mode,
Yeah.
and Resident Evil 3 was awesome. But
Oh.
that mode is not good.
What about what was that Metal Gear Survive or something?
Oh
With their-
fuck!
with the-
I think that's a little different though. I don't think
Oh,
you
okay.
actually go up against like other people.
I just don't understand why they can't make a good. It's such a good concept. Why can't they make a
Yeah.
good game of it?
The thing with the Predator one is like Predator's just like if you're playing as Predator, you're too like, and I get the like thing. It's like you can't make the like one versus whatever. You can't make the one too overpowered because then they win every time. But like they make the Predator not powerful enough. Like it's just like I don't know. Like I feel like it was like, oh, I'm playing as like the just regular like soldier or whatever. It's like, yeah, the Predator's right there. I know he's invisible, but like it's very easy to see him. Let's just start shooting him, and then everybody starts shooting him, and he dies. It's like-
here's my elevator pitch for the new asymmetrical multiplayer game. Ready? It's a simple one.
Okay.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles versus Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle bosses. Whichever one. Pick which one you want.
No.
What?
No. The new asymmetrical one that I want is a new Pac-Man game where you play as Pac-Man and the walls are really high so you can't see around the corners and stuff, and the other people play as the ghosts.
That'd be sick.
Wow.
All right, I have an idea for
You
one
shouldn't
too.
have said that live on the internet. Go ahead.
Fuck me.
It's the
down
entire
Predator.
country has to hunt down President Trump and kill him.
I mean, people have made games like that before, and they just always get banned instantly. I'm surprised that that thing
I
doesn't
still have
exist.
a VR game where the whole thing is President Trump face is saying stupid quotes, and you can hit it with dildos and shit like that.
They made a game got taken down really quickly where you play as the gunman who assassinates JFK, and just to see if you can do it in as fast a time. Like, you have to fire the first shot, reload the gun, and then fire the second shot, like all in the amount of time that it actually happened. And they were like, "Yeah, no, we're taking this down. You can't actually upload something like that."
Really?
Yeah, I mean, it was a really long time
I
ago.
want you to know that it was an inside job.
Heyo, and something weird. My internet just cut out randomly. What the hell's going on? No, I'm just.
I got one more game.
Big Brother's
and then,
watching.
What else you got, Pop?
I got one more game and then like half a game. Addiction.
What?
Both.
Okay.
So then I just realized like, actually I will give a quick shout out to Ghost of Tsushima. Can't get into that game right now. Like it's just not my jam. I think it's like this, and I think this is what I was running into, where it's like I played Last of Us 2, and like I think regardless of like how you feel about the game, the quality in like animations and cutscenes and like all of that part of the game is like top tier, and like going into Ghost of Tsushima, it's like it's like a hard like thing to get over. It's like, hey man, these faces don't look anything like that game I just played. Like they look way worse.
Hey, I'll get into it. I will get into that in a minute.
Yeah, like I couldn't do it. Like and like I want to like that game. I want to play it, so I want to give it like a fair shot. So I was like, I'm gonna come back to this. Like I think I need some more time. But so then I was like, maybe I'll play like kind of like a not graphically like that way game. So I went into I don't know how to say it. It's like Gris.
Gris. I mean, it's Gris.
It's gray.
GRIS.
Yeah.
I heard the developers say Gris.
I've heard it pronounced different ways from different people. I don't know. That game. It's visually extremely appealing.
Yeah, it looks really nice.
You start out and everything is grayed out. Everything's like a gray tone. And then as you play the game, you kind of unlock different colors. And it's almost like a water painting, like the way it looks. Like when the colors like come in.
Yeah, watercolor, totally.
Watercolor.
Update from the on Twitter from the creator. It's pronounced Grease, and it means gray in Spanish.
Gotcha. Okay.
Because it's pronounced gris and means gray in French, I think.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Same thing.
Yeah. So, really like visually appealing game. The music, you guys know I'm like a sucker for like music in the game. The music in this game is so good. Like I would buy like the soundtrack for the game. Like that's how good it is. But like everything, like it's kind of a platformer, right? But like you don't really have any enemies that you're fighting. It's just like straight like platforming and like puzzle solving.
I got bored with it pretty quickly.
Yeah, it's very, very basic, right? Like it's like, okay, you get to a section, there's 3 different paths. 2 of the paths have like special optional things to collect, and 1 path was the right way.
Yeah.
And like that's pretty much the first like 4 or 5 levels of the game is just that.
Oh, I think you got farther than me.
They give you different, like eventually you turn into like your character will turn into like a block, and then you can get through different things. But it's very like, I don't know. I feel like once you get over like the like visual part of it and how like it sounds and looks. Once you get over that, there's like not much there, which was kind of disappointing because I heard a lot of really good things about that. So like I was looking forward to it, but then, and like visually it's up there. Like it's really good, but the actual game part of it was kind of disappointing for me.
You know what? I got hyped up on that game because it was just constantly in the conversation last year when all the Game of the Year stuff was being talked about, and it was always being thrown in there with all these other great games, but for art and music and stuff like that. Yeah. And I just that kind of did what it was intended to do. It got me interested. I was like, I want to play this game. I keep hearing great things about it, and like all that stuff they said was true. But yeah, the gameplay is just kind of lackluster.
And maybe that's where I first heard about it too, because it's a pretty old game. It came out in like January of 2019, so like it was a while ago. But yeah, I don't know. For whatever reason, I thought it was going to be one of these like a Celeste type thing where it was like, oh, like I'm gonna fall in love with this, and like the game part of it just wasn't there for me. And then the last thing I'll throw out real quick, because we talked about Magic the Gathering earlier, right?
Oh,
so
I
decided, I was like, this all started with there's a video game store that opened up like a week before COVID hit and everything had to shut down. Opened up literally like you make like 2 turns from my house. You leave the neighborhood and there's like a little shopping strip right there. It's like right there. Like it's like a 2-minute walk from my house. It's so close. And I didn't get an opportunity to go to it because of the COVID stuff, right? I was like, maybe I want to play a retro game. I don't know what I want to play. There's this retro video game shop there. Maybe I'll go there and play, like, see if I can find something to play, right? I'll just look at whatever's there. So I waited until, like, it was, like, Friday, like, midday. Like, nobody was there. I walked in. I was the only one in there. So one of the most awkward experiences I've ever had where, like, the owner of the store wasn't there. Like, he had left or something. But his wife was there. And then, but, like, she was, like, in the back. Like, she wasn't, like, up in the front. So I could have just straight up, like, stolen things and nobody would have, like, known. But then they also probably had, like, if I had to guess, maybe, like, a 10-month-old baby. Not with the mom, but in the game section, like, in the back, in, like, a car seat next to, like, a TV. Like, and the baby's crying. Like, the whole time I'm in, the baby's crying. The, like, wife is, like, yelling that the father, which is the owner of the store, should come back. But, like, I don't know if she thought somebody else was in the store, and she was, like, she thought she was, like, talking to somebody. Because she's like, to tell him he's got to come back. Like, he's got to, you know, his daughter's crying. And, like, it was a super awkward thing where I couldn't even really look at anything.
Which game did you steal?
Yeah, I couldn't, like, I didn't play even, like, Babysitter Simulator, apparently.
All I remember even seeing was, like, I think the first game I saw was, like, ESPN 2000 or something. Like, some, like, really bad, like, NFL game. And then that was, like, the baby started crying, and, like, that got my attention, and then she started yelling. And I was like, what is happening here? And it was very awkward. And
screaming.
I learned that, like, they don't even have a lot. Like, the video game section was really small. I think they're kind of like half video game store, half like Magic the Gathering tournament store.
Like Warhammer and shit like that.
Yeah, but then as I was walking out, another guy came in, and then he was a customer, not the husband. Never saw him. So he, like, asked the lady in the back, like, as I was walking out, he's like, so did you find anything back there? And then I got like, my head was like, well, what's back there? So,
yeah,
like,
of course.
I stopped for a second, like, I want to see what she's about to bring out. And she brought out a stack of Pokemon cards.
Okay.
And so I looked at them and I was like, okay, whatever.
Pokemon.
So I left, I went home, and then I was like, I didn't even know people still collected Pokemon cards. Like, I didn't know that was a thing. So then I, like, I was bored at home, went on YouTube, and I was like, see if Pokemon cards. And I YouTube Pokemon cards, and I see this guy open up a pack. I was like, oh, dude, I had that, like, I remember going to the store and getting that pack when I was little or whatever. And then it just started, like, this wheel started spinning in my head. It's like, what if I started collecting Pokemon cards again?
And opening them on YouTube.
Yeah, and then I found out that, like, people, like, do this on, like, Twitch. They, like, open physical. They have, like, card pack opening streams.
Yeah.
And it's super entertaining to watch because, like, hey, this pack of cards could have whatever rare card in it. Let's see what I get. And they, like, hype it up. And I was like, dude, this is kind of entertaining. So I just, and, like, I have this, like, I'm very, like, addictive, my personality, right? And so, like, I was like, yeah, I'm getting Pokemon cards now. So I bought a lot of Pokemon cards.
So I have a proposition for you. What if instead you went to Magic?
Well, okay, so I had a conversation about this with my friend because one of my friends is like, that's what he was trying to say, like, dude, get Magic instead. And my whole thing
is it Magic. Cooper?
Yeah.
He just popped in the chat.
Yeah. I had my whole thing where I was talking to Cooper about Magic, and he was trying to tell me how cool it is, and I was like, the only thing I know from Magic, the only thing I've seen is, like, some, like, kid in, like, a tournament, like, look at my mountain card, isn't it so cool? And the name of the card is just mountain, and I'm like, this is lame. Like, what is this? Mountain? That's what I'm gonna mountain? Like, what?
Yeah.
And then And
That's
then
what I had, man. Look at my forest.
I'm gonna play Dirt Path.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And then then also I think there's I think you could do this with any hobby, right? But I feel then it's who do I immediately think of who do I know that plays Magic, and it's oh, you have to be 40 years and up. I don't know a single person that's my age that actually likes Magic. And then on top of that, there's no there's nothing for me to gravitate towards. It's oh well, Pokemon. It's there was the anime that I really liked, or the cartoon, whatever. And then there's games that I played that I really liked. And then okay, naturally, now that there's cards of those Pokemon that I caught in the game that I also saw on the show. Sick. I want those things. With Magic, it's there's nothing.
Dude, I'm sure though, if you started playing Magic, you would figure out why it's fun.
Yeah,
I'm sure
and there are going to be people just like there would be for Yu-Gi-Oh cards, I'm sure, or Pokemon cards, or whatever the fuck it is you're talking about.
Yeah, I know, but
they're like, oh, this all art for fucking Blue Eyes White Dragon is fucking so dope and shit like that.
But to even what you just said, it's Blue Eyes White Dragon versus Mountain. It's just
yeah.
Well,
the thing is,
you're stuck on Mountain.
That's the dragon that Kaiba had in the cartoon, and I watched the cartoon, so I want that thing because it was cool there, and I visually got to see how cool it was, and now I want it. Where it's Magic, there's not that.
Yeah, but that 43-year-old guy Brad at the store.
Yeah, it was before. Magic players before there was TV shows and stuff. They're they had to use their imagination to and it's dude, I just got the show that showed me, and then they came out with games and then the cards.
Cooper's responding to you in the chat. He says he picks Pokemon where its mana is called Grass and Steel.
I just want to say, Cooper will say all of this. He bought Pokemon cards after watching me open some because he liked it so much. He bought Pokemon.
And that's my entire point is there's going to be people that are deep into it, and they're I like this artist's version of the mountain or the swamp or whatever.
And he was explaining all that to me, the artist and stuff, which is cool. And I agreed with what Mike said earlier, and this is exactly what I told Coop. The art of Magic the Gathering cards is sick. The art is great. It's just everything else. There's no connection there.
There is lore as well, but the thing is, it's not a TV show or anything like that. It's all little quotes that are on the card, and they also come out with some background stories and stuff. But the reason, I think that Magic is just the more fun game to play is because there's a lot more strategy to it than Pokemon or Yu-Gi-Oh. I feel like
I like to collect Bob Ross,
but
cards.
It is more complicated too. So I totally understand you not wanting to. I mean, don't get into any TCG.
I don't even know that I'm gonna I'm not even
because that's the thing. Same thing. I got all these cards back here now, and I don't have anybody to play, and now I can't even go anywhere to meet anyone anyway. So
I don't even know that I'm buying these to oh, I'm gonna build a deck and play against people.
Apparently, I have to meet Cooper, I guess.
It's not even that, but The cool thing about the Pokemon card packs now is they all come with actually.
Yo, I would buy Bob Ross cards, legit.
So they come when you buy the physical cards. They come with these cards that have codes on them.
Code, internet.
Then you go and just enter the code in for the online game, and you get the same pack of cards that you bought in person. You get a pack of those for the online game.
He just gave away his fucking code to a.
Oh no, I use these already. So it's kind of a double thing where it's I have some friends that I know obviously aren't going to go out and buy physical Pokemon cards, but they downloaded the game. They downloaded the game and they're going to start playing that, and it's okay, hey, all those cards I bought now I get two returns on my investment because I'm getting the online cards as well.
Are you giving codes away?
Mark, I'm hooking up your viewers with Magic the Gathering online cards.
All right. Sweet.
There's 2 decks right there.
I love 2 decks.
That's what she said.
Right. Have you been playing anything else, Pop?
No, that's it. That's all I'm here for.
All right, Mike, on the Don't Hate What We've Been Playing podcast. What have you been up to?
I'll try and get through mine really quickly.
Don't even bother.
All right. Well, there's 4 of them that I really don't have a lot to say about because they're either old or just a constant in my life at this point because I have problems. So of course I've been playing some Overwatch because I feel like I want to find a new online game to play with people, but I just haven't found anything that clicks with me yet. And I've sunk so much time into Overwatch already that I'm like, really just fucking stuck.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't know, man. I wanted to play some more Fortnite, but then I didn't. And then I tried some Warzone, and then I was like, got sniped in the head from 2 feet away in my second game. I was like, maybe I'm not great with this. So yeah, that's that. I've also, hopefully coming soon to a Twitch stream near you, twitch.tv/KillerMetalMike. I've been practicing my Mighty Morphin Power Ranger runs again.
Okay. Oh, you're gonna.
So I have committed to the month
Can you
of
pull that
August.
system back up?
Yeah. Can you show that custom painted SNES Junior, please?
Oh,
shit.
Fuck yeah. Oh,
Mike,
yeah.
Mike,
So,
you made that, right? You and your kid?
Yeah, me and my kid, we actually painted both. So I did that one, and then
For the audio listeners, he has a little baby SNES with a bunch of black and red, or black system with red splatters all over
It's
it.
basically the Jason Voorhees model.
then we have the Frankenstein that just won't die. It's just kind of like
Holy shit!
it's hell.
I like
Like
the
some of it's underneath.
I love the
like,
black
original yellowing.
bottom part.
I like the orange reset button.
That two-tone nonsense, like it's been through hell. Yeah. So, been practicing. I decided I'm going to do at least one run every day through August, and hopefully by September I'll have a decent run. Because I need to move my time up.
Oh yeah, what are you now?
31st, sons of bitches, out of 41.
What were you?
When I started running, there were 16 of us, and I was 12.
Nice.
So, I mean, there used to be like way less people playing, but now it's gotten to the point where like it's been eating at me. Like I've been following Twitch streamers that also ran the game and have better times than me. Just so when I see them go live, I'm like, "Are you playing Power Rangers?" No. All right, good. I'm out of here.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong. It might have been a different game, but didn't that have like a decent fighting mode in it as well?
You might be thinking of the Tournament Fighter.
No,
Well,
I
Tournament
think
Fighters
you're
was
thinking
amazing,
Of the one for the Genesis.
Right.
Okay.
The Mighty Morphin Power Rangers for the Genesis was actually a different game than the Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
It had the fighting mode, and it also had less. It didn't have the Zord fights at the end, I think is what it was. You were always a Power Ranger until the end. I think is what it was.
I just remember that game masqueraded as being a good fighting game, but in reality was a terrible fighting game.
Yeah.
I hope
mean,
you're
there were
not going to
also-
tell me that TMNT Tournament Fighters was bad as well, because I'll fight you over that.
No, I think that was a good game. The new Power Rangers fighter is, what is it,
Ooh.
Battle for the Grid?
Yeah, I'm
That
interested
shit's
in that. I have
rough.
Game Pass, so I'm thinking about jumping in. Just
I've
to see
actually
what-
heard some good things about that.
I bought it for PS4 from Limited Run.
Oh,
No.
there's your first mistake.
Yeah.
Yeah, so runs. So hopefully, keep your Twitch notifications on. Maybe I'll be on every now and then.
Sweet.
Trying to get them runs in. The other ones, Animal Crossing.
Mhm.
Still have a problem with that. I think I just crossed.
Still have a problem.
I think I just crossed my 140-hour mark.
Oof.
So definitely some time falling in there, and still not happy with where I am. So more work to be done there. And the fourth bit of bullshit is just Donkey Kong Country got put on the SNES online service from Nintendo. And so because it was on there, I had to start playing Donkey Kong Country again. So I started playing. I'm about halfway through Donkey Kong Country again, just because it was there. It just made me think, like, I figured I would ask you guys, because I didn't really see, after the first batch of games that we got with the online, I didn't see, like, Donkey Kong coming because of the Rare relationship. I wasn't sure if that was going to stop anything.
Mm-hmm.
But now that it hasn't, like, if there were zero restrictions, what
Fucking
NES
Axel.
or SNES game would you like to see?
And the Switch?
Yeah, come to the, like, online service for the Switch.
Charger.
All right, welcome to my TED Talk on why Axelay is the best fucking Super Nintendo game of all time.
Wait. Hold on. I just gotta understand the question. You're talking about the game as it exists, like which SNES or NES game on those services that would you want to see made available?
Let's see, put on those services.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So not one that's there, but which one would you want to see make it there for the sake of
There was
online?
no restrictions.
Right. Okay. Arkanoid.
Arkanoid?
I love Arkanoid.
Nice.
For NES, anyway.
If you could add a game.
Pop, you got an answer on that?
Chrono Trigger.
Oh yeah, duh.
Yeah,
Chrono
that's-
Trigger. That's a really good
But
answer.
PC Port is absolute trash. I bought it on Steam. Tried
I
to
was
play it.
just
It's
about to ask.
It's terrible.
I think I would ask for a UN Squadron.
That's
I
a
love
fun game. Yeah. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
That's a good
All right,
answer
so
too.
keeping this moving along here. So I finished a shitload of games this week.
Really?
2 of them came from the list, and 2 of them are actually games that just came out in July. So, the 2 that I knocked off the list were I finally finished Resident Evil 2. I got that lazy dying bitch off the couch and took her to a train and said, let's get the fuck out of here.
Hey.
Leon showed up, and we said, Leon! And then it was over. It's been a meme around my house for like almost a week now, just walking into a room and screaming Leon and then walking away.
That's
Like,
awesome.
all right, great.
So you were Slayer.
Yes, so I played the Claire playthrough.
Good job.
The only thing I have for notes is like I love the look of it. They did a great job when they remade those games. Fantastic. And even changing the controls to be more manageable, the game was still scary. Like I still jumped at 1 or 2 instances where like I thought I killed a thing and then he got up again and he was behind me and I was
Yeah, Mr.
bitch.
X is intense.
Yes, Mr. X was a lot of fun too.
The way
And,
they change him is nice. Like how he just constantly like follows you.
is there. Yeah.
You hear his footsteps. You're like, oh shit, he's on the floor above me. Fuck, what do I do?
Yeah, me and Kristen just replayed that game right before we jumped into Resident Evil 3.
Yep.
Because we're huge fans of the Resident Evil.
Yeah,
games.
and that was
Wow.
it. Like I loved Resident Evil 1 like so much. That's been my jam for a long time. And then this was actually my first experience with 2. Like other than this, I had experience with 4 and Code Veronica.
Oh wow! So you never played the original too?
No, I never played the original. No.
That's
Yeah.
interesting.
So, but yeah, I loved it. It wasn't super long, so I would be interested to go back and do a Leon run and maybe do a Claire B and see where that stuff goes. Now that I
Especially like since you've played it through now, like a lot of like the like I don't know, that like initial section of the game that might have taken you like a bit to start, you can kind of go through because you're like, okay, I know how the zombies work, like I know how this enemy works, I know how these puzzles work, so you can kind of like brush through the first like 4 or 5 hours on the second playthrough.
Yeah, and there is some different stuff in the Leon playthrough. I like the Claire playthrough better, but do not try beating it again after you beat it with both of them. It's not worth it.
No.
Yeah, there's not like enough difference between like A and B of each character to like warrant a second playthrough.
Yeah, because once you play through the second playthrough, you get like the good ending.
Yep.
And then you're not going to get like a super good ending or anything like that.
Okay. Good to know.
But I would recommend check out Resident Evil 3 if you like Resident Evil 2.
I did.
I think Resident Evil 3 was very good. It's more actiony, and Nemesis isn't as cool as Mr. X.
Yeah.
But I thought it looks really fucking good, and because it's more actiony, that could be make some people shy away from it, but the action sequences are fucking dope. The last boss battle, like just killing that last boss, is so fucking cool.
Nice.
It feels awesome.
Nice. Yeah, so finished that one. And then the other one that I knocked off the list was Spec Ops: The Line. So this game came out in 2012.
Wow.
Nice.
And it's been on every one of those stupid, this game has a twist end. Top 10 games with twist endings. Top 10 games where you're actually the bad guy. Top 10 games where fucking let me spoil this game real quick in just the title of my video and the fact that it's appearing here. Like,
Right.
okay, great.
Mm-hmm.
So I had the game spoiled for me, like, a lot.
Just like you just spoiled it for me.
Yeah. So, but even knowing how it played out, still watching it happen was, again, one of those things that was like, all right, they did a really good job with it. Like, it wasn't just like, hey, guess what? Haha! It was like, oh, all right, this was fun to watch, if you consider that fun, I guess.
Did you get multiple endings?
No, I just went through it one time. So.
You don't have to go through it multiple times. I would suggest going back into the end and picking something else, because there is huge differences in how that game ends, and they're all very entertaining.
All right.
And horrible, but entertaining.
Oh, yeah.
We have a Motive Pixels episode on that game. I really like that game, and
Yeah.
for some reason I fucking played through that thing on the Steam controller. So I had
Wow.
experiences.
Gross. Yeah, the only complaint that I really had with this game was the button mapping was like really weird, and they let you change the button mapping, but it was things that I couldn't change, like sprint and cover are the same button regardless of what you do. It's the same. You use shift for both sprint and cover.
Weird.
So I'm like, okay, I'm either running or hiding behind something, but they don't work. Like, it didn't work together. Like, a lot of times I would run up towards something that I was trying to take cover behind, and once I got there, I would run into it and just stand there. And I'd have to push it again for them to take cover behind it. So it, like, didn't even work together fluidly. Same thing with vaulting things and melee attack. So, like, punching things and jumping over things were the same button. So there was a lot of times where, like, I bind my melee attack to one of my mouse buttons, but then I had to use it to jump over things to get out of cover, which is, like, really disorienting for me. I don't know. And then reloading was R, which is, like, always, but you have to hold R to pick items up and to use things, which doesn't seem like a huge deal, but E
Should be that.
is your switch weapons.
Ugh.
Yeah, so it's like really gross layout that they have. So I didn't care for that. But other than that, the game was good. Takeaway from the whole thing is war is horrible and mental health is important. So, yeah.
Can't disagree with that.
Yeah, so get your shit checked. The other two I had were both Switch games, and both came out in July. So the first one that came out was on the 7th, which was Catherine Full Body.
Nice.
So I got the Catherine Full Body, which is, I guess, just Catherine with all the extra shit that they've added over the years.
There's a third a third love interest.
Is that what?
That's what's
they
different.
added?
Yeah.
That's what the
A
addition.
third Catherine, you say?
Yes, there is a third Catherine. It's. Oh, I don't know if I want to spoil all that then.
Yeah, don't, because I picked it up and I haven't played it yet.
All right, great. So play it. It's fucking weird.
Yeah, no, I really enjoyed it on PS3. I didn't finish it,
I
but
like. Yeah, I like the anime art style. Like, looks great. The story was super compelling. The puzzle I found like a little hard to get used to at first.
Yep.
But like, once I finally like realized, okay, I have to get up there, so I have to do this thing down here.
See, it's weird because you've heard of puzzle platformers before, but this is like a platformer puzzler,
Yeah.
right? It's like the platforming is the puzzle.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. That's really innovative. And if I'm not mistaken, I think that's like exists in the Persona universe. Those characters.
Huh.
I think Shin Megami Tensei. I think is like all encompassing Persona and that game. I think. Don't quote me on that. I'm not up on my weeb stuff.
The other thing I want to say is the bosses in that game are like super haunting.
Fever
like, they
dreams.
do a great job like turning something into a nightmare.
Yeah.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
damn.
Yes.
The morality meter and the questions that they ask you all through the thing, like I would definitely go through this game again.
Yes.
For sure. Just to see what else I could tweak and make happen. Especially after what I got for my ending and the things I learned on the way through. I'm like, whoa.
What difficulty did you play on?
I played on normal. It like asked me a couple times in the beginning if I was sure about that.
Yeah,
yeah, man, I could do it.
I never finished it. I played it on stream, and I was trying to like only play it while I was streaming, and so I never finished because that's what happens.
It's definitely good, and it's not super long. So
I love puzzle games.
Yeah, it was totally worth it. And then the last one is came out on the 10th, which was Deadly Premonition 2, Blessing in Disguise. And holy shit, spoilers, this game is awful. Fucking awful. And I am super disappointed, because I kind of like the first one in like a weird kind of way.
I've heard a lot of being said about this game, and it does not sound dissimilar to the direction you're heading right now.
Alright. Yeah.
Can I ask what kept you going?
What kept me going?
Yeah.
I had to know, man.
No, Mike's got a list. He's trying to bulk up how many games he's finished this year, and that's why he finished.
Yes and no, because I did almost quit this game. I was very, very close to quitting this game, and it was really early on, because again, this game has this thing that I hate in all games, which is in-game clocks. Because if you have an in-game clock, that means they want you to wait for something. Regardless of what it is, you have to wait. So, when I finally hit a point where I had to wait, I was like, okay, great. We've all been here before. Let me figure out how I'm supposed to pass the time. So there's things in the town you can do, but I don't care. With these games, I'm really trying to get the story out of it. I'm not after fucking Jimmy Smith down the road lost his fucking dog, and all of a sudden he decided he's a cat person, so go find a stray kitten by the river. Like, I don't know. I don't give a fuck. Like, tell me why I'm here investigating a murder, right? Like, that's why we're here. So, I get to this point where I have to wait, and I go back to the hotel. Because in the hotel there's a bed, and in a bed you can sleep, and when you sleep you pass time. So you can pass time, boom, get to where I need to be. Perfect.
Video game.
Exactly. So the first one I have to pass like 4 hours. I'm like, okay, great. Go back to the hotel, sleep for 3 hours, get up. All of a sudden he's hungry. You need food. Okay, great. I go get him food. He's not hungry anymore. Yeah, hear me out. That was another thing that drove me fucking bullshit. You have a stamina meter that's based off of hunger and sleep, and you have a stink meter, whereas if you don't shower in a few days, nobody wants to talk to you anymore.
Oh.
So you can't progress the story because you smell bad. Fuck my life, dude. This game was...
How's the skateboarding compared to like Session or...
So, hold on. I'm getting there, because that was the worst. No, but I almost quit because after that sleep that you have to do, I went to do the next mission, and they said, okay, here's what it is. We need these 3 ingredients to make this thing for this guy so that he can do whatever fucking magic voodoo he's going to do, right? I'm like, okay, this is great, super. And they're like, okay, you find this thing in a vending machine. What vending machine? We're not going to tell you. Okay, where are the vending machines located? Yeah, we're not going to tell you. So I'm skateboarding around this whole fucking town trying to figure out which vending machine has this magic can of spinach in it. Don't ask. I find that. I find one other ingredient, and then the last one, they're like, oh yeah, you need red beans. I'm like, okay, great. Where do I find red beans? They're like, oh, you find red beans at the restaurant. They make red beans down there. I'm like, okay, super. Let's go to the restaurant. So I skateboard over to the restaurant, go inside, and she's like, honey, how you doing? I'm like, oh, I'm fantastic. I just need a can of red beans from you, please. And they're like, we only serve red beans on Monday.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
On Monday, okay? Now hear me out. They know how this game's going to play out up until this point. They make you wait to do the last mission right before this, so they know where you are. It's Wednesday. and they want me to wait till Monday. I almost quit right there. I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me.
Which game do you like better, this or or Last of Us Part 2?
Ooh, Last of Us 2 was definitely better than this.
Oh, okay.
Just because of my big issue that I had with this game.
That's my new segment called Questions That Have Never Been Asked.
Oh, I know. So my big thing that really killed me was this game runs like dog shit. I'm talking 1 frame per second. Like hard slideshow. Not even kidding, dude. I got on. Okay. I feel my heart going right now. Okay. I'm just gonna go.
I said that for Pop.
I'm just gonna go with these notes that I have right here, right? Spoilers, the game is awful. Runs like dog shit. 1 frame per second. It's trying way too hard to hit all the same story beats as the last game. Like, beat for beat. You came here to investigate a murder. Now that you're here, oh my god, all these other people are dying. What are we gonna do? Like, I get it's a mystery and you have to keep the pressure on and everything, but just killing off every character you introduce because that's what you did last time doesn't fucking hold weight here. You got downgraded as a cop. You're a special agent for the FBI, but in this game, you don't get a car, you ride a skateboard, and you don't get a real gun, you get rubber bullets to fend off alligators. True fucking story.
This game sounds ridiculous.
No, it's so bad.
I think all of his points are making me want to play it more.
Yeah. They
It's having the AVGN effect.
Yeah, so they tie in this game with the first game, right? And all that it did for me was remind me that the first game was way better than this game that I was playing, which is really bad for your game. The enemies that they put in this game, in the first one, they were like zombified, like gray people in like an alternate dimension. So in this one, you still go in like an alternate dimension, but it has this like, I call it like a Nintendo paint job over a mature game. Like they had this game and they were like, okay, this is great. And then Nintendo got a hold of it and they're like, yeah, listen, but it's really gray and gross in here. So they replaced gray zombie people figures in the last game with what looked like the Nintendo 64 pose from Ocarina of Time. They're just like kind of, now they're round and they float and they're kind of purple and they have like a one of those plague doctor mask-esque faces, and I'm like, all right, like this is the thing now, huh? Like it's super colorful, but it's supposed to be scary, and I'm okay, great, dude, whatever. And it really, like, the Nintendo paint job over everything kills me on this, because I was really trying to get into the story, because the stuff that they're talking about in this game is like, you show up to investigate a murder, come to find out everybody that's involved with this thing is hooked on serious hardcore drugs. Awesome. Like now we have a drug manufacturing thing going on, right? Now all of this is also kicked off by a trans woman, I'm not sure, woman now, used to be man, and before made the switch, slept with his sister to create a baby, which is now like the spawn of Satan, which is raining hell over this whole game. I'm telling you, man, drugs, murder, incest, transsexuals, like right off the bat, like this is the shit we're throwing in your face, but we have to make it Nintendo friendly. So it's colorful, and you ride a skateboard, and you don't get a real gun. But what? Dude, it was so bad. It's the worst game that I've played in a long time. And that's awful, because the first one was good, and that was back in 2010. Like, they had 10 years to put something together.
Well, the first one was...
Like they did it in, like, 6 months.
Air quotes good, right?
Yeah, it was good, but it was targeted at a very select audience.
Yeah.
Like, did you watch Twin Peaks and enjoy it? Play this game. Like, if you didn't, good luck.
I will not be playing that game.
No, dude, do not. I recommend that everyone avoid this game.
You giving it a big thumbs down?
Big thumbs down. Like, I don't even want to see a Deadly Premonition 3.
Let me ask you this, because I did hear that they have been responding to complaints, and they're gonna do things like improve the performance and fix some of the story beats and things like that. Could you possibly recommend this game if they fixed anything to it?
I'll say this. The original Deadly Premonition came out in 2010, and I finished it earlier this year. So if they get their shit together, I will play Deadly Premonition 2 in 2030. Absolutely. I will give it 10 years to get its shit together like the first one had.
2030 is only 10 years from now? Holy shit. That's crazy.
I'll give it the 10 years and give it another go.
All right.
But
looking forward to the 2030 Deadly Premonition 2 spoiler cast.
Hell yeah.
That's wild. My question is, you have a YouTube channel called A Warp in Time.
Yes, ma'am.
Will you play it again to do a Warp in Time video?
No.
No. Okay.
No.
So
I would love to do something like that, but if I was gonna do it, I would do it on something enjoyable, like actually watching Twin Peaks again.
Okay.
And trying to make any sense of that. I feel like that would be really fun just because I would make a video that makes no sense.
Right.
Just fit the theme of everything.
Yeah. So don't hold your breath for Deadly Premonition 2 video.
You can hold your breath all you want, but it'll kill you faster than the goddamn red seeds and Deadly Premonition.
Okay. Well,
yeah.
We won't keep our eye out for that one.
You'll be waiting longer than those red beans.
Yeah, that's right.
Please wait till Monday,
Slept for
2030.
5 fucking days. Jesus Christ.
What have I been playing, you asked?
Yeah, what have you been playing? Huh?
I was actually thinking that it was going to be a pretty cool discussion, but I don't know if I can top any of that shit you guys were talking about. I've been plugging away at Ghost of Tsushima because I really, really like it. And it was hard for me not to bust into that when Pop was like, you know. But even fresh off The Last of Us as well, I don't know. I guess I just wasn't expecting much from it. I was hoping to get that Tenchu vibe, and I'm getting it. And then, like, you know, it's funny to say, like, I agree that graphically it's not that impressive in regards to the animations and the NPCs and stuff. Like, Jin looks pretty good in his character model, but it's all hand animated and like the mouths kind of I don't know. But the environments is where that game really shines, and the photo mode is one of the best photo modes ever. This is not an uncommon conversation these days. Everybody's talking about the photo mode in Ghost of Tsushima. What it's really doing, though, is getting me interested in feudal Japan and its history, and further reinforcing my desire to, like, I don't know, embrace Japanese culture, not in like the stereotypical kind of, not that kind of way. Like, I really started researching, like, you know, not the shitty $100 samurai swords that you get from Four Seasons at the mall, but like some legit, you know, folded over Damascus steel, like, samurai blades, because I've always wanted that. But now playing this game is really making me, like, want to get a cool set of swords. Just something I've always wanted. Now I'm, like, looking into it again. And traditional Japanese garb. I found this, like, ad popped up. It has to have something to do with me, you know, posting all this Ghost of Tsushima stuff. Like, this ad popped up. It's like, check out this clothing brand. It's based out of Japan. It's all, like, samurai style, like, pants and shorts. Like, all, it's exactly what you're picturing, but, like, of new, like, modern, comfortable materials. Like, they have these sweatpants that look like fucking samurai pants. I'm like, this is ridiculous. I would never wear this anywhere, I don't think, in public, but I want them for some reason. I don't know. I just want to play samurai. I just want to be samurai. And
we don't go out in public anymore anyway.
Yeah, so it doesn't even really matter. But that's, you know, oh, yeah, so I should get them, right? Or, what the fuck are pants? I'm not even wearing pants right now. I am. But I Maybe I'm not. You never know. But yeah, Ghost of Tsushima lets me play samurai make believe. You know, it's the stories are. I don't know. It feels like a video game to me. It doesn't feel like Last of Us felt like this. You know how they always explain when you go to the movies, you're just a passive observer, but when you play a video game, you're an active participant. And I felt like I was part of that story that was being told a very specific way. In Ghost of Tsushima, I feel like I'm sort of just playing the way that I want to, and yeah, like the story happens, and if I happen to be paying attention to what they're saying on the screen, I'm like, oh, this is actually kind of interesting. But really, I'm only paying attention to the main, you know, the main quest, and all the side stuff is just like, you know, there's a rumored this town is over here and they might have this armor that you could potentially use, and like, do you have to go get that? Absolutely not. But like, am I gonna go get some chunkier armor so I can, you know, last longer and die less often? Like, hell yeah, I'm gonna go do that. It's just the gameplay loop is great, and the visuals are, yeah, not the best thing I've ever seen, but good enough. And they do this really cool thing with the loading screen too, where it's like you die, but you're just kind of like incapacitated until somebody comes over and puts you out of your misery. But that whole time is like they're loading while that's happening, so it gives this illusion that it just loads real quick, which, you know, that's nice because nobody, you know, it's so funny. They put up hints on the screen. It's like push right on the D-pad for the next hint, but it flashes up there for 1 second and then you're back into the game. Last of Us 2 is really good at that too, like getting you right back into the action after you die. I mean, it comes with 2 discs. I don't know if you guys bought the discs or got it digitally or what, but it's maybe that has something to do with it. Anyway, that's just like my main, you know, when I'm gonna go sit down and play video games right now, that's what I'm playing, is Ghost of Tsushima mostly. Yeah. I was listening to Giant. Go ahead.
Before you move on, I wanted to ask a little bit about Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah, go for it. Actually, we're a minute over the 2-hour mark, so we're gonna have to end right here. Thanks for listening, guys. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just joking.
Part 2 next week.
Yeah, part 2.
Part 2 what we've been playing.
Yeah. No, what was your question?
There's two main things that are kind of holding me back from pulling the trigger on Ghost of Tsushima.
Okay.
Because I've been listening to a lot of podcasts and talk about this. The first is a lot of people are saying it feels like a very like generic open world game, where it's just kind of like a lot of uninteresting explore the world to get things.
Do you want me to address this one?
What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah. So, to me, see, I was one of the people who was just like blown away by what Assassin's Creed was when the very first Assassin's Creed came out, and I was like, wow, this is like very vast and there's so much to do and it's so fun and the gameplay loop here is great. And then Assassin's Creed sort of went through like these evolutions, right? And there was like, you know, what a modern Assassin's Creed game today is very different from what the original Assassin's Creed, not very different, but it's different enough to where you can like tell the difference. Ghost of Tsushima, to me, like, I suppose the negative way of framing it is that it's a very generic open world game. But to me, the way that, like, the positive way to put it is that it's like Assassin's Creed without all the extra bullshit. That's the way that I'm looking at it. Like, because what turned me off from Assassin's Creed was a million fucking icons on the map and like not really knowing like what's gonna
Jackson Pollock of icons all over the place.
Yeah, and I'm just like, what do I want to go do? Do I want to go, like, I don't know. In Ghost of Tsushima, I really do find myself, you know, I'll call the horse and I'll hop on the horseback, but then I'll just trot. You know, I won't gallop around. I'll just be like, what's over here? It's kind of like the same. It's probably forever going to be recognized as the Breath of the Wild effect, where you're like, you see something in the distance and you want to know what's over there, so you just go check it out, and like maybe you don't even get to where you were going because there's something in between where you were going and where you just were, and then you get a new mission and you don't have to do it, but it's like, I don't know, a lot of times I'll run into somebody, an NPC in Ghost of Tsushima, and they'll say like, here's my dilemma. Can you help me? And then you get the option. Do you want to help them, yes or no? But if you do, you're going to cancel the current mission that you're tracking. But that only happens if you're tracking a mission. So like oftentimes I'll just go into the menu and untrack everything and then still head in the direction that I was going and see what, I just don't do anything in order really. And it kind of, to me, that seems like the measure of a really good open world game, to where like, you don't have these beacons of light all over the place, like in the distance, just beelining straight towards it. It's like, okay, maybe I will go around this mountain instead of trying to Skyrim my way up it, which doesn't work in this game, by the way. Like there's very deliberately placed handholds to get up the side of a mountain, or you can take the long way around and walk up it. You know what I mean? Like they did a really good job with the environment, like topography, if you will. You know what I mean? Like it's very well thought out. But as far as being a generic open world, it almost seems like there was a lot more. Like there was a lot more to do, and then they took some out, and you were left with like the perfect amount. Because without getting like too spoilery, but just like there's areas that you can find that you can do like a little mini game, and it's fun. It's a fun little like push these buttons in this order and then do it again, but like harder, and then do it again and even harder than that. You're slicing bamboo, and this is how like one way that you can power up, and they're just scattered about, and there's like, I don't know, it's got a counter in the menu. It's like one of however many bamboo slices, and that's just one of the things that, if it was an Assassin's Creed game, would be populating the map all over the place. Then there's fox dens where you can go and like, if a fox runs by you in this game, you can chase him and follow it to, you don't know where it's going to take you yet, but you just follow the fox, and then it leads you to a shrine, and you can go and like honor the shrine, and that increases your resolve, which is basically like a stamina sort of thing. It's like, if you're running low on health, you can heal, but these little resolve orbs go away. So this is like how you increase that, and it's all just very rewarding. Like you'll be walking along, and there'll be a golden bird, and it'll just fly in front of you, and if you follow that thing, it'll take you to some other like secret location. So like instead of going into the map and like picking where you want to go, it's just all these interesting ways to bring you to places that in other games you would have to go select from a list and be like, I want to go here. This just, the game sort of guides you. That wind, the wind to guide you to where you have to go is like one of the coolest things in video games that I've seen, like a new innovation in a while. And maybe it's not entirely new, but it's captivating. I really enjoy using that.
I enjoyed just like going, and I see, like you said, you use Breath of the Wild as an example. Mm-hmm. I feel like I even go further back, and it reminds me a lot of like Skyrim, of like just like, I'm gonna follow this animal, and then I happen to like find another guy that needed help on doing this thing.
Yes.
I think you can kind of play this game that way. One of the things, the like section that I have played, like I did enjoy, of like I got to like kind of a peak of a hill, and I just kind of like looked around, and it was like, oh, there's like smoke over there, so like I don't know what that is, but like clearly something, I need to go that direction. And then over here there's like some steam, and like maybe I'll go check that out because I know what that is. And like I like that type of open world way more than what Mark's describing of like the newer Assassin's Creed games, or like the Far Cry games, where it's just like, you unlock this part of the map, here's all the icons and everything to do in this section, and you know exactly where everything's at. Like I think it does a much better job of kind of like, you visually see things that you're like, I kind of want to go in that direction, and then you don't know what you're really going to get when you go off in that direction, but like you might find something cool, you might come across an NPC that takes you somewhere completely different. Like just kind of depends on like where you're going and that type of thing.
Yeah, and I think to sort of come back to what you were asking about, is it what are my thoughts on if it's a generic open world game? Like I just feel like all in all, it's really well balanced with all the things. Like, there really is a lot of things that you can do, and there's a lot of trees, like ability trees, that you can increase your abilities. Like, there's your stances, and there's your ghost abilities, and there's your you know, you can upgrade armor, you could upgrade your sword, but then it's all just like balanced really nicely with random enemies, and which you don't have to engage with, but they happen so, well, I guess frequently or infrequently, however you want to view it, like where it's not like, oh, I just fought a bunch of dudes, like now there's another bunch of dudes, and you know, it does this really cool thing too, where it doesn't that you never run into enemies that are like super over leveled, like, oh, I shouldn't be in this area of the game yet. Like, the enemies sort of level up with you, and it's really more, it comes down to being more about timing than level. And obviously you can tell, like, basically the prettier and fancier the armor the enemies are wearing, the better they are, because there's some like enemies that have almost no armor and they still very much want to kill you, but it's a couple swipes of the sword and they're dead. Where these really heavily armored enemies are kind of more difficult to beat. Like, you have to be more precise with the parries and the blocks, and I don't know. Unlocking new abilities is really rewarding. I mean,
you're almost getting into my second question. So before you do that, I want to just follow up on my question.
Yeah.
What you're saying reminds me a lot of the things I enjoyed about the open world of Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yeah.
Because I really dug that game. If you had to pick one, which open world would you like better?
So right now, I mean, I started playing Horizon again because when I originally started, I never finished. So I was like determined that I was going to finish, and I actually got farther along than I did in my first playthrough. And then The Last of Us came out, so I stopped playing. But just based off of that, and I probably played a comparable amount of Ghost. I'm gonna say Ghost right now, actually, and you know, I think it has a lot to do with the span of time that's passed between the releases of those games. Like, it really bothers me to say this, but when I put in Horizon, I'm like, man, this game, like, the still screenshots are so beautiful and the game looks so nice, but playing it, I just feel like, okay, this feels like a 4-year-old game, which it is, right? The game's been out for 4 years, Horizon.
Yeah.
It's just, and it sucks to say that because it's like, I'm not saying anything bad about it. It's just like things have actually in that 4 years time gotten better in the way that a game feels on the sticks, you know. And
2017. Actually,
I do think that Horizon didn't feel the best, but I liked a lot of parts about the open world of it. The same things you're talking about, where like there's interesting things that led you down paths, and a lot of the visual appeal of it. Like, there was some cities in Horizon that were like barren, pretty much. Like, there wasn't a lot going on, but I just really appreciated like the architecture and the style of that world so much.
Yeah, and it is a very specific sort of like, you know, the fall of civilization and like what made it through and what didn't. So like, you know, maybe that's graphical or processing limitations that they used. They used that story beat to their advantage when they're just like, oh yeah, no, this is why it's sparse here, but in reality it's because they were pushing shit to its limits. But yeah,
I don't want to lead you down on another half-hour discussion, but I am like really interested in this game, so I do want to ask. Like, the other big thing I've heard is like a lot of detraction, or like people not enjoying the stance-changing combat focus aspects of it.
I love that.
You do like it?
Yeah. I mean, it. Okay, so the main complaint that I'm hearing is that there isn't a button to lock on to enemies.
Yeah, I don't like that at all. I hate it.
I thought that I was gonna hate it. What I hate is not having. So like, we've all played the different types of games where like, okay, let's just say third-person games, for example. Like, sometimes in a third-person game, if you're running and you shift the camera with the right stick, you know, assuming you're playing with a controller, the control sort of like becomes difficult to continue like if you're walking and you want to view your character from a different angle, like you want to still walk in the same direction, like it becomes difficult. This game, they handle that really well. It's easy to sort of like move the camera around while you're fighting and while you're traversing. But what I wish they had was a designated button to reorient the camera forward. I feel like if they had that, then the no lock on would become totally irrelevant because
Z button.
at this point, exactly. At this point, like not locking on is difficult when the enemy is like there's an enemy there, but you don't know where because they're off camera. So like that's the only time where I'm like, man, okay, I see why you would want the lock on. But they've somehow managed to like, okay, the stick is sensitive enough, so if the enemy is over here and I'm pointing the stick that way, like that's where I'm going with my attack. And they do like an okay job with having other enemies like kind of wait their turn. Not so much because they will come up and attack you while you're fighting somebody else, but that's really where okay, so I've got a swordsman over here that I'm fighting, but then a guy with a shield comes up behind me. So I can take my attacks on this guy and I can choose to either turn around and attack this shield guy in my sword fighting stance, or I can, take the chance to switch to the stance that's good for fighting against enemies with shields. And if you do, it pays off because now you're ready to fight this guy. You could break his defense down more quickly. Same thing with but you don't have it all from the get-go. So you're like, oh, I've unlocked this, now I want to use it. And you think like all these different controls and switching stances is going to be cumbersome. It's really intuitive. It's all done with like, the L2 and R2, depending on what you're trying to change, if it's change your weapon or change your stance.
Okay, because I heard like the same thing that Paulie said.
Yeah.
That, like, people were complaining about the stance switching because they were saying the same exact thing that I said about Doom Eternal.
Mm-hmm.
Is that it's just another level. It's like, instead of just being a fighting game where you go in there and you got to take all these guys out, it becomes a puzzle game where you go in there and now there's this kind of guy, so I have to use this kind of thing. But now there's this guy, so I should switch to this thing.
Yeah, so
Doom Eternal was the same thing. It was like this gun attack here for this guy, and it just became bullshit.
Look,
and it sounds like you're saying there's actually choice, and it's like not like you're forced into that. Like
you could fight a sword fighter in the spear fighting stance if you want to. It's just going to make it a little more difficult. It's kind of like the same sort of system that makes me dislike The Witcher 3, right? You had those two swords, and I was just like, right off the bat, I was like, I hate this. I think this is so stupid that, like, because I don't know. Maybe I didn't give myself. I've given that game a fair amount of chances. I think it's not me. It's the game. You know what I mean? But with this, with Ghost, it's I like it better because. No, you're good. You're good. I like it better because if you're in the sword fighting stance, then you've got triangle as your heavy attack and square as your light attack, right? Now you can do your combinations triangle, 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 or triangle, triangle, square, whatever. Like there's different move sets that you have, but if you switch your stance, now it's a different move set. So it's a way, like, think of a fighting game where each character has 100 different moves. Think of like Virtua Fighter or something where there's all these different button combinations that you could do. That doesn't really work in a fully 3D third person over the shoulder type of experience. So like
clearly you haven't played Absolver.
No, I haven't. But you know what it really reminds me of is like I don't want to say simpler. It just feels like Shadow of Mordor. The fighting in Shadow of Mordor.
Okay.
See, I kind of agree. I kind of agree. Like, and I'm not even I haven't even gotten to the stances. So like I'm like, I don't know how many acts there are, but I'm in Act 1. So like, I'm pretty early on in the game. But like the Shadow of Mordor combat system is kind of like a variant of the Arkham.
Yeah, the Batman
system, and I feel like for me, this is like that's what they were trying to go for, but they couldn't get, like, they couldn't nail it how those games nailed it. Where like the combat
those games rely heavily on the auto lock on though.
Yeah, I know, and so it makes the combat very like fluid, but it feels good in a way where it's like because they're very similar, right? Like you have types of enemies. It's like, okay, this is the enemy with the spear. The only way to attack him is when he tries to spear you. You have to do a certain button combination to parry the spear, and then he's open for like an attack for a certain amount, like a certain window. But it's like if I'm fighting one character and then I see that guy start to come at me with the spear, there's no like easy transition for me like, oh, I know he's going to come at me with the spear. Let me like switch to him, parry real quick so I can attack him because he's harder to take out. It's like it doesn't there's no fluidity to it. It's like I'm fighting one person and there's two other enemies standing there and I have to just like completely leave this person, switch over to this person. Okay, what's your attack? How do I beat you? Okay, I'm doing this thing now. Now I switch over to this, and then I switch back to the like. It doesn't seem fluid, but I feel like the way that the combat works, it feels like it should be. So like it feels off to me. I don't know. Maybe the stance stuff helps that. Like I'm not sure, but like that's immediately what I like. After playing, like I played like maybe like 2 or 3 hours of it, and I was like, I'm already kind of tired of this combat. Like,
yeah, I'm like really interested that Mark actually is enjoying it so much because I also heard like again the stance thing became like an additional puzzle element that you don't really need, and I heard that like you can pick certain things off the skill tree that you like, and then after that it's just kind of like, okay, so here's some neat shit that you probably will never need or use, but it's stuff you can get.
Even the skill tree is like it's almost like identical to how they have the like Arkham skill tree set up, where it's like, oh, like you can usually take out one person in stealth with this, but if you upgrade it, now you can combo that and take out 2 people in stealth, and like you can take 3 people. Like it feels very much like that's what they were going after, but I just feel like, to me at least so far, it's like falling short of that, where I like keep thinking like, man, this would be so much better if I could just lock onto these characters while I'm doing this thing.
So I will mention, I'm not sure if you're aware, but I did hear that there is an auto lock-on functionality, but I also heard complaints of that where you're trying to shoot somebody with an arrow and it keeps locking on to some object that you can...
Are you still talking about Ghost?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry.
I didn't. Yeah, I guess I haven't tried that.
No, there was a new update that it was the first big patch that they did where you could increase the text size. They included 2 new difficulties. I think they made it like one that's really super easy and one that's a lot. What's it called? Not brutal. Yeah, something like really stupid hard where it's like you got a one sword slash kind of like Bushido Blade.
Why are we still increasing text size? Can they not put that together?
I feel like it's just one of those things that like
it should just always be a slider.
Overlooked.
It should always be a slider.
Yeah.
I don't know. It seems like a no-brainer.
Like, I feel like the greatest example of that was like the director of God of War talking about why their text was so small. He's like, well, when we had all of our testers come in, they were playing on a PC 6 inches away from their face. Yeah. So, like, no one ever complained about that, so we never thought of it.
That's the most lame duck bullshit-ass excuse I've ever heard.
Yeah.
Though.
I mean, it's a realistic excuse, though.
But you're making a product that you know people are going to play on their TVs.
Yeah, but how often do you think they fire it up on a big-ass TV and sit on a couch?
And also, if you had a 4K TV, it'd probably be fine too. There's still people like Paulie here who's playing with his 1080p plasma that he still loves. So
hey, I'm just saying that if you're bringing in
shit is a struggle for me with some text in some of these games.
If you're bringing quality assurance testers in, maybe you should sit them down on a couch in front of the TV so they could see so they could assure the quality.
At least one time.
Hey,
I know
I could keep on going about Ghost, but
that's what I was gonna say. I was like, I know Mike said he has to leave at 1, so maybe we should get into some of these topics real quick.
Well, I actually had 2 more.
Nope. Do it.
Number 2 is kind of a bullshit game. I was listening to Giant Bombcast, and this dude from GameSpot was on, Timur Hussein, and he mentioned, I don't know if you guys listened to that. Did you hear the game that he was talking about, the iOS game called Song of Bloom?
No.
Yes.
Yeah, so I downloaded that on the iPad because it's iOS only. It's cool. I like it. I've been playing a lot of meditative games lately, and Ghost of Tsushima being one of them, because it's really just, I kind of trance out while I'm playing that and get into that loop, and there's some high energy parts, but then the rest of it's kind of traversal through this very beautiful Japan. This game's similar. It's best played with headphones. It's just kind of like, it's weird puzzles. It's weird puzzles that you need to unlock by, like, you watch like this video. It's like these little animations happen, and then you go to unlock the first puzzle, and you're like, oh, I just saw that in the previous animation. So you do the thing that you saw in the previous animation, like it'll be like a draw with your finger or tap here to do this, or all sorts of different things, and you do it, and then it will unlock a new branch. There's like this tree. You're unlocking different branches on the tree, and the more that you do, like, oh, you'll get down here, and then here's something from like 3 or 4 branches back that, oh yeah, there's that thing that I've been trying to figure out. I couldn't figure out the answer to it, but now, this thing much later on is showing me the answer. There's really weird stuff that happens, like you go into what looks exactly like the Apple messages, but somebody's typing messages to you in this completely foreign characters, like you cannot read it. It's just, but there is a way to get out of it. If you like refuse to do the way to get out of it, it'll just keep spamming you like some bullshit that doesn't make any sense. So it's cool. It's interesting. I haven't finished it yet, but I'm kind of curious to see how it ends, because it's a very surreal sort of, I don't know, games like this always remind me of Myst is what I go to. Like you're dropped in a world, all this shit's going on around you, but you don't know why, and you really want to know why, because it's like it's not creepy like scary. It's just creepy enough to where you're like, oh, this is interesting. I want to figure it out. So yeah, Song of Bloom on iOS, if you guys have Apple devices. But the killer app for me. I just picked it. It just came in the mail the other day. I got Tetris Effect on PS4.
Oh wow!
And nice.
I started playing it the other day, blind on stream, and fast came to the realization that it's not really a great streaming game as much as it's a great staring off into space and meditating game. So that inspired me to bust out the PSVR, which I was saying I did earlier.
Good.
So I put the PSVR on, and wow, this might be my favorite game ever. It's Tetris. It's like everything. When I was a kid in high school, chasing the dragon, we'll call it. I was really after like the psychedelic experience, and I was just one of the people that couldn't really I could never get the good fun psychedelic experience. It was always like freaking out. I was always freaking out whenever I experimented as a kid. This game is like, I feel like hallucinogenic drugs are this game's main competitor. There's no other games that compete with this game. It's just acid trips. That's it. No, but in the VR, it's like, it really does, like, you're playing Tetris. Yeah, you're just playing Tetris. Okay. And you play Tetris, and then every move that... Have you guys played it? Anybody? Tetris Effect? Yeah. Every move that you make on the piece, whether it's left or right, or slamming it down or rotating it, dynamically affects the music. So each board will start with really, like, no music playing at all. You only get the sounds from moving your pieces. But they're very clearly going to, a rhythm that you don't know yet. Because once it kicks in, it's like, oh shit. So like after you clear your first line or get your first Tetris, shit starts happening. And in the VR headset, it doesn't just happen on the screen, you know what I mean? It happens all around you, no matter where you look. Like crazy visuals are just going, and with the music, and you turn the volume all the way up. Like I was lost in this shit. Like, you think VR game, you think like, oh, I want to be transported into this world, but like, no, it's just you're transported in front of this Tetris board with crazy psychedelic visuals like circling your head. It's great.
Space whales and shit.
Yeah. Oh man, there's all different like themed levels. There's like, I don't know. There's like fire levels and ice levels, but like all the music coincides with what the pieces are. Like the pieces change shape, not shape, but texture. You know, there'll be like different patterns and whatnot.
Mark, have you ever played Lumines?
Yes, on PSP only.
So it is very similar how the music works with that game and how this game. I think there's the creator is involved. The creator of Luminous is involved in Tetris.
Did I miss something, by the way? Because everybody calls it Luminous, and when I look at that game, I just want to say Lumens. I mean,
Yes,
everybody
you
calls
missed
it
the memo.
Everybody calls it Luminous.
Only true gamers got the memo. Sorry.
Oh, yeah. That's not me. That's not me. I mean, lumens, it seems so apparent that it's lumens based off of, you know, the way English works, but I digress. It's luminous. Fine. Yeah, I like luminous.
Doesn't make sense.
Huh?
Said English doesn't make sense.
I always
That's
said
true.
luminous
Luminous.
to be even less of a word.
But I get it. It's like luminescence.
Yeah, but the main point, that
Yes.
same idea where you move the pieces and the music is affected by that, and you're kind of controlling the music at the same time of having these intense visuals going off around
Yeah.
you and everything. It's
Yeah.
a fucking great feeling, and you can zone the fuck out with that game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's cool.
I still want to get into VR with it. I haven't got, because I don't have PSVR and I have it on PlayStation. I want to get it on Epic, but I was
Wait.
hoping it would go on sale for the summer sale for Epic.
But it won't work with the Vive?
The PlayStation?
No. Tetris Effect isn't.
Yeah, if I
isn't-
got Tetris Effect on Epic, then yes, I could
Oh.
absolutely go into VR with it. And
Oh.
I want to. I just don't really want to spend full price on it because I'm fucking cheap.
Oh, I see. You have it on PlayStation.
Yeah,
I gotcha.
I've played it only on PlayStation, non-VR.
I see. Yeah, it's a whole different game when you put the VR
Yeah.
head. And it was fucked up too because I was trying to play last night and it was super hot in here and I hadn't turned the AC on. So like, I put the
That's
headset.
another great VR game.
Yeah, I put the headset on and my forehead starts to sweat instantly. And as soon as that starts happening, the lens on the PSVR started fogging up, and I'm like looking through a cloudy fish tank. So I take the thing off, I wipe the screen, I wipe my forehead, I put it back on. 2 seconds, it just instantly clouds up again. I'm like, ugh. So I finally put the AC on, it's blasting. I'm sitting right in a chair that I positioned perfect distance away from the PSVR camera. I'm like totally immersed in this game, and then the downstairs neighbor, like famously they do this shit all damn day, slams their porch slider door, and that shakes our whole house. Like, but imagine this, you have a downstairs neighbor that's too fucking loud. Like, when does that happen? But it happened. Yo, I jumped out of that seat because I thought somebody was coming in the house. I was like, what the fuck? And
Oh.
but then
You
I'm
have
like,
no idea, man. I don't know what your girlfriend's like, but my girlfriend,
fucks with you when you're in the headset.
her favorite fucking pastime, because I like to play scary games, especially in VR, and she will fucking grab the back of my head or fucking run her fingers down my arm or some shit like that. She's so fucked up.
Pop,
I love you, babe.
didn't you
It's
say you
great.
played
I would do the
all
same thing.
of Resident Evil 7 in VR?
Yeah,
Did you get
that's
scared?
why I bought the PSVR. I mean, yeah, there's definitely like terrifying moments in that game in VR.
Even not in VR, shit.
I tried playing not in VR. I'm like, this is too scary for me. I'm putting this
It's
away.
still my best, the funniest clip I've clipped.
Oh
You're
yeah,
like-
me
Like
smashing
right
my
before
head
you're
in the
like,
wall.
It isn't like that scary. Like, I don't know, the VR doesn't do. And then like 3 seconds later, something pops out and he's like,
I smacked my head in the wall.
throws his head
Yeah.
back.
That's
against
it.
the
Go to
wall.
twitch.tv/markmoney. You can see it for yourself.
Oh, man.
So yeah, that's what I've been playing. Stupid iPhone game, which is actually pretty good. Ghost and Tetris Effect, my new favorite game. So yeah,
Awesome.
that's 2.5 hours. That's what we've
Some
been playing.
awesome games everybody played. That was good stuff.
Do we want to
Except for fucking Mike with his
Yeah.
shitty ass bullshit game.
Somebody's got to take one for the team, I guess. Yeah.
Mike, you got to be out in 15 minutes. Hard stop, 1 o'clock, right?
Yes, sir.
Why don't we talk about these topics while we're doing the you guys are down to play that game next week?
Yeah. I actually watched a stream of someone play it.
Fall Guys, we're talking about.
It looks really fun.
I mean,
I was like, oh.
I could technically keep going, but I started this podcast very tired. I mean, I'm totally cool with just talking about the games that we've been playing for this episode. You guys have any objections?
That isn't so cool.
Totally cool.
What did I froze?
Yeah.
You guys were all frozen too.
Cool.
I mean, I think that it's not like anything we're going to talk about for topics. It's not like big news is really happening or anything like that.
Yeah, let's just table it for next week, and we'll have something to talk about while we play this hilarious looking game, Fall Guys.
It looked fun.
I'm thinking maybe I will stream this one from my channel. I mean, I'll still record it, and we'll still put it up on YouTube, but I'm going to stream it from my channel so that maybe, hopefully, get some more eyes on it. I don't know. There's no followers on this channel. It's just here to do the podcast.
Is I think the stream went down, yeah?
Yeah, the stream is up.
It says reconnecting. We're still recording, though, so
Yeah, okay.
I don't really care about the stream.
It'll be an interesting experience for me with Fall Guys because my PS4 is in the other room.
Okay.
So I think what I'm going to do is actually try remote playing it on the PC and see how that works.
Oh, okay. Have you done remote play on the PC yet?
Yep.
It works pretty good. I feel like it works better. Like, I've tried to do it from my phone and the iPad and to a PS Vita, actually. And the best experience I've ever had is doing it from the computer.
I agree, except it's not as good as playing it on the PlayStation.
Oh, well, yeah, obviously. Yeah, it actually might be difficult if it's an online game too, and you're going to be playing online and streaming it to the. I mean,
we'll see.
You could always do voice only and sit out there, but
yeah,
whatever.
I'll give it a shot. It's worth an experiment.
Yeah, I'm like exhausted, guys. I'm about ready to go to sleep.
I'm down to
Pop. You want to plug your YouTube?
Yeah, actually, to be honest, I don't even know what. I have to look up for sure what it is.
No, you just pop that baby maker.
You just pop that baby maker. Okay.
You just look for Pop in a Christmas hat.
Yeah. If you just YouTube pop that baby maker, I think it pops up.
Yep. No spaces.
Yeah.
Anybody else? Anything to plug?
I was thinking about this, and I do want to get off my ass and start doing Broken Dial Radio again. Mm-hmm. So if anybody listens to this, and if you want to hear me and possibly other folks talk about music, then follow us on Twitter at Broken Dial Radio and let us know that you want us to start up again.
I'm gonna go do
that right now. Because I know I have some followers that would like me to start doing it again, but I need someone to push me. That discipline just lacking.
At Broken Dial Radio on Twitter.
At Broken Dial Radio is correct.
Mike?
I feel that pain. I also suffer from lazy assosis. I mean, I'll keep you posted. Warping time, working on it, but nothing yet. Nothing in the immediate future. So
we want the God of War video. Damn it.
Y'all want, huh? Jeez.
I want the Deadly Premonition 2 video.
You're going to have to fulfill the $5,000 tier Patreon to get that one.
Just going to be me getting shot with a rubber bullet falling off a skateboard.
I want to see you go into a restaurant.
Now I want to see that too.
Just go into a restaurant and be like, "Can I have some red beans?"
Red beans.
I say
only on Monday.
I say
you gotta ask for a can of red beans, which was my favorite part about that. You don't ask, "Can I get some red beans to go?" No, "Can I have a can of red beans, Mr. Restaurant?"
Yeah,
Mr. Restaurant.
Red beans and rice, and you go in there and say, "Hey, can I have red beans and rice? Except I don't want the rice, and can keep the beans in the can." And they're like, "Oh yeah, that's totally normal."
Absolutely.
Normal. That game's awful.
Hey, how about the Catherine full body stream? When are we gonna see that?
Valentine's Day.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Smart.
I have to find a bunch of actresses first, though.
I think they just prefer to be called actors these days.
Whatever, man. Ever since they closed down Craigslist personal ads, it's getting a lot harder.
That's what she said.
No, I think she said, help, help, I don't know this guy.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Anyway.
So for Paul, Pop, and Mike, I'm Mark Money saying don't hate the player. Hate WWE 2K20. Go watch Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, you fucking plebes. Peace.